And I said, well, hey, look, now you've got a clear opinion from the Supreme Court saying that what you did to me was unconstitutional. And so I put it in that petition. Obviously, it didn't get the audience or the ears or the eyes appropriate to enter a ruling based on that in the Western District of Louisiana. Well, I brought it back up in Texas. I brought it back up under the Southern District of Texas with the judge that sentenced me originally because, okay, so they're saying, okay, hey, now not only did you unconstitutionally prosecute me, the prosecutor provided no evidence of jurisdiction.
Right.
You sentenced me based on dismissed charges. So you're using stuff that I hadn't pled to, for one, and two, that I'm still under the presumption of innocence, and you're ruling and issuing a sentence on that. Mind you, there was never an evidentiary hearing, meaning that it was never determined by preponderance that any of the dismissed cases had any validity, much less anything that was beyond a reasonable doubt. And so I had an enhanced sentence without due process, without evidence, without hearing, basically without trial.
Yeah.
So not only, and all those things pretty much just say, well, hey, let's just take the Constitution out and let's all go set it on fire. And then we can pretend we have a country.
Well, you could pretend, even without that, you could pretend that you have any principles of fairness and due process, or fairness and principles of justice, because
correct.
Logic, not necessarily the Constitution, if we take, because logic dictates that the burden of proof is on the accuser, and that's where the presumption of innocence comes. That the one who's being accused is always presumed innocent, whether in or out of court, is always presumed innocent unless there's evidence to prove it, and that shifts the burden to them, which, of course, here, because it was dismissed, even as the Supreme Court agreed in a big majority decision, the presumption of correctness is in force. And so what they did was they said, man, we're just going to ignore the presumption of correctness for those charges.
Right.
And use that to enhance. So, yeah, that's just terrible.
It is. And I have a lot of family members who are attorneys. As a matter of fact, I have an uncle of mine who used to be a law professor.
Wow.
And he did a review of my case. Obviously, he was already retired. He's living in the Caribbean. He's away from the United States. But he did a review of my case. And he goes, listen, there's no victim, for one. Secondary, if there was a victim, which is the proverbial state, no one suffered a loss. Therefore, it eviscerates the crime, because when there's no victim, there's no loss, there's no crime. And he said it over and over and over. He goes, I don't understand how the justice system works in the United States, but that's not jurisprudence. He goes, there is no justice system in the United States. And this is coming from a person who's practiced law for about 53 years.
Wow. Well, we're unfortunately out of time, so I'm hoping that you can give us a call so we can finish this on the Wednesday broadcast.
Will do. Let's pick it back up.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks again, Edgar in Texas. And pretty clear, clear case here, and it's just a matter of they only lack jurisdiction when we filed the complaints. If it's filed against us, they always have jurisdiction. It's stupid to argue that. We'll be
uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government, the real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
Temporarily from the Libertarian National Convention in New Orleans, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, June 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,253 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,401. Antiwar.com reports earlier this week the State Department revealed that they are ordering allies worldwide to stop buying oil from Iran. This is part of an effort to drive Iranian oil exports to zero and is centered on the U.S. withdrawing from the P5+1 nuclear deal. This is having a substantial impact on the regional and global economy. Saudi Arabia looks to be the most immediate beneficiary, with the country expecting record oil production in the next month to meet rising demand. The main purchasers of Iran's oil exports are India and China, and Indian refiners have suggested that they will be obeying the U.S. demands. China has not addressed the U.S. demands and probably won't accept them since they remain a party to the nuclear deal. Iran is trying to secure continued exports abroad, particularly pushing the EU to agree to buy oil as part of saving the nuclear deal from the U.S. Whether this is successful remains to be seen, but the U.S. seems determined to scare away Iran's customers, and oil prices have been rising on the expectation this will continue.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
UPI reports the names of the Capital Gazette journalists killed Thursday in Annapolis, Maryland, likely will be placed on the Newseum's Journalist Memorial Wall next year, according to the head of the Freedom Forum Institute. Gene Policinski, who is also the chief operating officer of the Newseum Institute, said, "I would think that the nature of this, the tragedy, the great number of it, will mean that their names will unfortunately be on this wall in 2019. Jared Ramos is accused of breaking into the Gazette's offices Thursday afternoon and shooting to death 4 journalists and 1 cell staff member before being arrested. He had threatened the newspaper in 2013 in the midst of a lawsuit he filed, saying reporters defamed him by reporting that he was convicted of harassing a former high school classmate online. The lawsuit was later dismissed. In the aftermath of the attack, law enforcement stepped up security at major newspaper organizations around the country. Adopting precautionary measures is important, but the best measures won't be enough until the ongoing rhetoric against the news media ends, according to Frank Smith, head of the Global Journalist Security, a firm that trains journalists in risk mitigation and safety measures. President Trump's criticisms of the media are feeding the anger at the root of verbal and physical attacks on journalists, according to Smith. He said Capital Gazette is the worst attack on journalists and press freedom in the history of the United States. Policinski said that Americans have less trust in journalists today, not just because of the frankly ridiculous political debate where journalists are enemies of the people, but because there are fewer local journalists covering news that matters to people's lives. Trump has called journalists enemies of the people and labeled stories as fake news regardless of their veracity. During his presidential campaign, he often urged crowds to turn on the reporters covering him, including offering to pay legal bills if anyone was arrested for assaulting a reporter. While journalists covering international conflicts often face risk, it's rare that those working in the United States are targeted. Over the past 26 years, the Committee to Protect Journalists recorded 7 other deaths in the country, a relatively small number compared to the 1,306 journalists killed around the world during the same period. The most striking thing is that the journalists at the Capital Gazette were sitting at a desk of the local newspaper, not in the midst of a war zone or even violent domestic riot. 2 days before the Annapolis shooting, Milo Yiannopoulos, former senior editor at Breitbart, told a reporter, "I can't wait for vigilante squads to start gunning down journalists on sight."
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
It's The Onion Radio News. A new crispy snack cracker will ease the crushing pain of modern life. The dull, all-consuming ache of present-day existence will be slightly alleviated when Nabisco's breakthrough TC McCrispy's line of crackers arrives today. Available in regular, Garden Ranch, and Zesty Cheddar, the new crackers will flood consumers' bodies with fat, salt, and starch to produce a pleasing sensation of warmth and nourishment, momentarily freeing them from a relentless, crushing sense of profound grief. Mel Krychek is Nabisco's Director of Corporate Communications.
Our tasty new snack cracker will, if only for a few lovely moments, significantly lessen the hideously bleak and empty torment of modern life that festers in every solitary soul.
Nabisco expects most despair-riddled consumers to eat an entire box in one sitting. Doyle Redland for The Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the program. You, as always, are invited here to join us toll-free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. If we get a chance coming up, there's some interesting news about North Korea again, which I'd like to share. But we'll start on the home front. Ian and Mark in the studio. Hey, Mark. Hey, Ian.
Did you enjoy your week off?
Well, I mean, I have people covering for me, but yeah.
You were sick or something like that.
Yeah, I had a little touch of something.
After Pork Fest and Fork Fest. But you're back, and we're here, and we're live, as we always are. And, of course, we'll take your calls about whatever you want to discuss. But to start things out here tonight, some of the big news this week that we didn't really cover, and because there really isn't much to say, there's a Supreme Court guy retiring.
Yeah, Justice Kennedy.
Kennedy is retiring, which is like the second one that Trump himself will be able to nominate a replacement for. So this is a big deal, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because Kennedy was, I forget who described him. It might have been Darrell who described him as a switch hitter. Like that, you know.
He was probably one of the more libertarian justices we've had in our lifetime.
Boy, that is stretching.
It's a stretch. But
wow, no, these people are not libertarian in any way, shape, or form. They are arch statists from top to bottom, every single one of them. They rule in favor of the government more times than not. Every now and then, they'll throw you a bone and give you some kind of ruling that's not an absolutely horrible ruling. And there have been a couple of those recently by the Supreme Court.
They are judges that work for the federal government.
Yeah. They're not libertarians, not a single one of them. Let's be clear.
I don't pull people's cards.
Yeah.
I just look at his rulings as compared to the other judges, and I say, okay, that sounds fair.
Now, Judge Andrew Napolitano, I think you could describe as a libertarian. I think he's got his, membership card or whatever. If he's not actually a member of the Libertarian Party, he probably would qualify. He probably believes in the non-aggression principle. We've had him on this show to interview him in the past. It's probably been a while. But there was some rumor going around that he was actually possibly under consideration for a nomination by Trump to replace this retiring Supreme Court justice.
Well, that's the story, but we don't really know. Trump isn't going to be publishing his short list or anything like that.
It's just a rumor. And, of course, things like this get libertarians very excited. You know, they think that, just like they thought during the Trump campaign, that Trump was somehow a libertarian choice or whatever, and some of them actually got behind Trump and supported him. Now, I could see supporting Trump from a he's a troll and he's entertaining perspective, but I don't, the guy's not libertarian.
Could you see supporting him from the standpoint that Supreme Court nominees are very important and Clinton is scary?
Trump's scary too.
Agreed.
Because the government is evil, and anybody who wants to get in control of the control of the state is likely somebody we don't want.
Well, I'm going to say Neil Gorsuch was a pretty good nominee.
Okay, I don't know really much about the guy.
Yeah,
all I know is if he's a judge, he's a scumbag for the most part.
Well, that's
pretty
your
much
opinion
pretty much a safe bet. It's judges who have been backing up the federal government and state governments and all of their their depravity and their violence against peaceful people for so many decades.
I'll say this: far too often, cases against governments, state, federal, local, I don't care, are dismissed for lack of standing. And people don't have redress of grievance in this country against their government. Governments, organizations,
you have redress of grievances. The Supreme Court decided in a case that you can have your grievances redressed. You can send a grievance into the government.
And that's
apparently they believe that is redress, that they don't have to actually respond in any meaningful way at all to your grievance.
Right.
But it's been heard. It's been seen.
Right.
It's been received.
I don't think that's redressing it at all.
But that's what the Supreme Court said.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's what the Supreme Court said at one point, and it needs to be brought up again.
A decade and a half ago.
It needs to be brought up again. But what are you going to do? Anyway, Judge Napolitano writes here, the guy that supposedly is among Trump's main nominees. That's the story. He writes here. And I think that, maybe this is the worst time in the world to read this. I don't know the answer to that. If Trump hasn't seen this, then I certainly don't want him to. But
well, I think this is great. I haven't even heard what he says yet, but the fact that you gave me a brief synopsis before the show that Napolitano is going to come out with this while he could be under consideration is awesome.
It's published in the Lou Rockwell blog while he's under consideration. I have no idea when he wrote it.
Okay.
But
let's hear it.
I think that
this was an article written by him or an article about something he said?
No, this is an article written by him.
Written by him. Okay, got it.
So I can tell you this. When I think of Supreme Court nominees coming up, I think, boy, I hope Trump nominates Judge Napolitano, which Napolitano probably has more information than I have. So either he knows that Trump will never nominate him, or he believes that maybe he will, maybe he won't. And I would say it's brave to write an article like this that questions in any way, shape, or form the administration's views on things. He does it in a very kind way, but let's go on.
Okay.
Last weekend, President Donald Trump argued that those foreigners who enter the United States unlawfully should simply be taken to the border, escorted across it, and let go. According to the president, this would save precious government resources, avoid the business of separating children from their parents, and free up the Border Patrol and other federal assets to do their job. Undoubtedly correct. He is undoubtedly correct on the beneficial consequences of the government that they're forced deportation without due process, yet deportation without a trial is profoundly unconstitutional. So it's interesting. This is why Trump wants a wall. So a wall would prevent stepping foot in the country, and therefore you wouldn't have the deportation process or whatever. So it makes it difficult once they can step foot on in U.S. soil and say, "I'm here. Now you got to deal with me." And here on Free Talk Live, I've come up with a solution. You can like it or dislike it. My solution is that you let anybody who wants to come here and work hard come to this country. No welfare, no voting for their whole lives. End of story. That would address, to me, the vast majority of complaints, except for they're taking our jobs. And if your complaint is, they're taking our jobs, you need to figure out something new, because you can't compete against a travel-weary, inarticulate, non-English speaker.
Sure.
That's that's the best I can come up with. Is that
you didn't deserve your job if that person took it from you.
Right. This is a pressure in the marketplace to make you perform better, and that's what the marketplace is supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
In theory, if there's a better radio program out that's airing in this time slot, they should be in my time slot.
My job got taken once by a younger person, I believe. I was given a severance package by Clear Channel Communications back in 2003 or 2004, one or the other.
If you haven't been fired in radio, you haven't worked in radio.
Well, was it fired? I mean, they disconnected from me, right? Like, do you normally get a severance when you get fired? Is there another term for that? Let go.
Let go.
I think is probably a better term.
Yeah, you can call it whatever you want.
But anyway, yeah.
They don't call it fired. They call it termination.
Absolutely. I was terminated with a 4-week severance, and that was nice of them. They didn't have to do that for me, but presumably the reason was because they could find some kid to... and I wasn't old at that time. I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
But they could probably find somebody who was 10 years younger than me or whatever
to
do the same job for $4 an hour less or something. I think I was pulling in like $12 an hour or something at that point in the mid-aughts.
Yeah.
Early to
early
mid-aughts.
aughts, I think, is if I recall.
So them damn young people took my job.
Right. Nobody ever complains about young people taking people's jobs. They don't complain about automation taking people's jobs. It's always
they complain about that.
They used to.
Automation they complain about. And you're going to hear more about that as more companies
There's nothing that can be done. Automation just means that the United States is manufacturing more than it has ever manufactured in its history, and it's because of automation.
All right, more from Napolitano here. We're going to get to that coming up, and you can share your thoughts with us. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. We'll try to figure out when it was that he wrote this. Normally, blog posts have dates on them, Mark, so we'll see if we can dig up.
It's the 28th.
Oh, really? Okay. All right, because I glanced at their blog, and I didn't see it right out the gate. Maybe it's
right there at the top.
Yeah.
June 28th.
All right, more coming up here in moments from Andrew Napolitano on his opinions about the Trump administration and their immigration enforcement. And you can share your thoughts with us. 855-450-FREE is our number.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the program. We invite you to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. And joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
We've got Skype. If you want to Skype in, you can do that. Sound pretty good if you're on Skype. At Skype username LRN.FM. Also, there's our Free Talk Live Discord, which you can go to discord.lrn.fm. You'll find the on-air call-in line room there that you can join. And, of course, there's also chat rooms there that you can chat with other Free Talk Live listeners during, before, and after the show. And also want to let you know about Zencash. Zencash.com is where you can go to learn about this relatively new, in the scheme of things, cryptocurrency that started in 2017 and has really taken off. It's become one of the most secure systems, decentralized networks out there, with over 12,000 secure nodes at this point, which last we heard that placed them at around number 2 on the world rankings for most nodes in a cryptocurrency system. So you can go to learn more about Zencash and how it was founded by voluntarists, people who actually care about liberty and economics, and also that it's got some of the best technology back there behind it, like the zero-knowledge anonymity. So if you care about privacy, you really need to look at Zencash. Go to zencash.com. That's zencash with a Z.com as we continue here. We got Bill on the line, and we'll share more from Andrew Napolitano and his opinions on the Trump administration's immigration policies. But, Bill, you're on Free Talk Live listening to WRNN in Myrtle Beach. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we've created this problem over the last 3 decades. Starting with NAFTA, we sent all of our manufacturing jobs down to Central America. And the problem that we're having now is we're actually taking in people who can't even qualify for those jobs that we sent to Central America. So what you have is you have a situation where Democrats want votes, and then you have children coming into this country, and their parents are sending them because they know that they're an anchor that's going to be their lifeline coming into this country, because we're compassionate people and we won't turn them away.
Well, so the complaint du jour is families crossing the border with children, as opposed to I mean, that was the complaint 3 months ago, and I can't. We can address that one if that's what you want. But the current one is, oh my goodness, they're bringing their own babies when they cross the border.
Well, actually, if you look at the statistics, I think the latest ones they're throwing around is 10,000 of the 12,000 children coming into this country are unaccompanied by their parents.
Well, to some extent,
I think they're being sold.
Hold on.
They're being sold. Go ahead.
The complaint is that they are being separated from their families, and that Customs and Border Patrol doesn't even know whose kids are whose either.
That's true. That's
You're talking about when they get caught.
Right. Well, I mean, they're not incarcerating children they don't catch, Ian.
No, but he's talking about thousands of children coming across the border unaccompanied. That's what you're talking about, right, Bill? Not necessarily that they're being caught.
No, I mean the parents are being sold a bill of goods that if they just have their children come here, then that's their lifeline to get into the country without any consequence. And that's the problem.
That sounds false.
But I disagree with you wholeheartedly because we're compassionate people and we don't want to turn. We're not going to take children and turn around and throw them back into a situation where they're going to be in their parents sent them here.
Well, you may not do that, but you're not the government.
That's true.
Because right now the government is taking children from their parents, and there's a minor change in the policy that I guess Trump made after a lot of pressure came down. That he will allow them
incarcerate the whole family
to stay with the parents once they're incarcerated, rather than separating them into a group of children and a group of others. So that's happened.
If you can establish that they are a family, that's great.
It's not great to have people living under space blankets in near freezing temperatures in a warehouse. Basically, I mean those aren't great conditions for anybody to be in, let alone children.
Okay, so what's the alternative? You want to turn them
freedom?
Back?
The alternative's freedom.
I gave the alternative when I started reading the story. Anybody who wants to work hard can come to this country. No welfare, no voting, ever. That's my proposal.
But there's no. But see, that's naive because the impact on the educational and the healthcare system is beyond what you can say. Oh, great, we're not going to give them welfare, but nobody's going to turn them away from getting an education.
Let me ask you this: is there a way
care.
For me to articulate quickly that there would be I don't believe that it is your responsibility to pay for anybody's kid's school, let alone somebody who's come here from a different country.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that basically welfare?
I frankly don't care where somebody was born, and I don't believe you should have to pay for your next door neighbor's kid's school. You don't have to feed their dog, so you shouldn't have to send their kid to school. I mean, if you want to, it's great because giving money for education makes your community better, but that should be a choice that you make, and I think that the monopoly status that government schools have make them pretty terrible.
I agree with you there. The unfortunate problem with that is that we've established this system over decades.
I don't know who we is.
It's kind of hard to unwind it and
Agreed.
I didn't do
it's going to take something decisive, but locking families up and giving them space blankets and giant dog kennels is decisive. Apparently, the federal government has the capability of being decisive if they want to be.
Like a battleship can turn around and make a different course. But no, what you're trying to do is you're trying to conflate the rights of citizens here with the rights of people who just walk in. If
hold on, are you saying that there's a different set of rights?
Let me finish my sentence. Are you allowed somebody to walk into your house and just start?
Oh, I love that.
You've never heard this one before.
Yeah, never. Never ever.
That's right. Your house is the exact same concept as the nation, right?
Well, let me ask you this: if I was your roommate, wait a second. If I was your roommate at your house and I let my friend in, my immigrant friend in, could he sit on your couch?
If they're invited in, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, if they're invited in, that's not a problem.
I hereby invite all hardworking people of the world to come to the United States and make this the great country they did a century ago. How's that then?
And
as your roommate,
you have the authority to do that.
Authority! You know what authority is?
Yeah.
Authority is a thug with a gun.
Pretty much.
No. Actually, authority is our elected representatives that we elect to enact.
What if I vote against them? What if I don't vote at all?
Yeah, what if I don't consent to that?
Well, unfortunately, you live in a Democratic republic.
So when you say that, you mean
some old dead guys gave my consent for me. Is that what you're saying?
When you say, whoa, Bill, when you say unfortunately, just hang on there, bud. When you say unfortunately, you mean, we'll use violence against you.
You're my serf.
If you don't go along with what these other people tell you to do, because they went and they put pieces of paper in a ballot box, and some other strangers counted those pieces of paper and told other strangers that they could go ahead and tell everybody what to do, and then men with guns would go ahead and enforce their edicts. Too bad you live in a country where people believe in this crap. Right, Bill? That's pretty much what this is all about.
The funny thing about that, too, is I'm going to speed you can't tell me not to speed. So
go ahead.
I'm
speak.
not going to.
Oh, so you're an illegal.
And I'm not going to follow the law.
So what you're saying is you're an
You
illegal.
gotta have some sort of rule.
Look, I'm not saying
wait.
I'm not saying you don't need rules.
Wait a minute.
Bill.
Are you saying you do speed or you don't speed?
Oh, I speed all the time.
So you're an
that's
illegal.
neither here nor there.
You are an illegal, sir. You break the law. You need to go to prison.
Do you use people's services?
Thanks for the call.
Everybody breaks the law, man. There's too many laws.
855-450-FREE. Thing is, there's no victim to speeding unless you crash into somebody. And there's no victim to people coming here making a better life for themselves. So leave people alone if they haven't actually hurt you. Shocking concept. It's Free Talk Live.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10 years shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
Healthcare reform is confusing. With the loss of the Obamacare mandate, those needing help can now choose an affordable alternative. By joining Liberty HealthShare, you're part of a community of health-conscious Americans all over the country who control their own healthcare costs and choices. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of their medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free. Take control of the airwaves here at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you here tonight, you've got Ian.
And Mark.
So you can, of course, bring up anything that you want. We started out, and we got more here from Andrew Napolitano. He is a former judge. He was a longtime commentator on Fox News. I don't know if he still is. He may be. I don't pay attention to television news, so I have no idea. But he's still apparently doing some articles over at LouRockwell.com, or at least they've reprinted one of his articles with permission within the last few days, and we're going to continue with that. But, of course, bringing up the immigration topic is almost a guaranteed, people want to talk about it kind of thing. So we're going to go to your calls and thoughts here. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE like freedom. I do also want to let you know about the Blink Home Security System. It is shockingly affordable considering how effective it is and how easy it is to install. So if you've ever dealt with a home security or office security system before, there's a lot of running wires and drilling holes in walls and all kinds of prep and setup. Not so with the Blink Home Security System.
It's easy.
You just unbox it. You put the batteries in the cameras, which are, I believe, AA's, if I recall correctly.
Yep, they are.
So, they're included.
Just did mine recently.
Yeah, they're included. Oh, really? You had to replace them?
No, I just set up my cameras again, so I know what kind of batteries.
I have yet to actually have to replace these batteries yet.
Right.
It's been several months.
I moved house, so I moved my Blink system, and Laura wasn't entirely happy with where I put the cameras, so they had to be put in different places.
I see.
Once things are moved.
But it's easy to move because they're wireless. You don't have to worry about running wires anywhere.
Right.
So if
doesn't make me crazy.
You get the wrong angle, no problem. Change the angle, and there's no real difficulty there. It's super easy. BlinkProtect.com/FTL, and of course you can have them set up to operate whenever you want them to operate, and then they'll send you clips to your smart device, and you can see what's going on wherever you happen to be, as long as you have internet access. BlinkProtect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live, gets you 15% off. As we go back to your calls and thoughts, more from Napolitano's piece here in moments. Let's go to John, listening in Delaware to WDOV in Dover. Hello, John.
Yeah, hey guys. I just wanted to make a comment in regards to the comment that was just made by one of you fellas that there was no victims, and the fact that illegal immigrants, or I'm sorry, not even immigrants, because they're illegal aliens, are overflowing.
Let's just dehumanize them as much as possible, right?
Would you call them like steaming piles of poop?
Where were you guys 4 years ago when this was
on the radio?
On the radio, saying the same thing consistently.
Yes, we absolutely were 4 years ago, and 4 years before that, and 4 years before that.
Free people can cross the borders of free countries.
Back were the only people talking about it then, and now everybody's out in the streets and they're up in arms and they're rioting because that's all they have left. I think as far as presidents are
riots?
concerned,
Whoa! What are you talking about? What riots?
They're not actually. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said riots. I overreacted on that. They're demonstrations. I
will 100%. 100%. There are a lot of women Democrats out there that want to say or do anything to go after Trump because they believe that he's just the pedophile, touchy sexual offender, whatever. Yeah, there are a lot of people without principles. But Free Talk Live has said that free people can cross the borders of free countries freely, or you don't have free people and you don't have free countries for more than a decade now.
Sure, but is it a victimless crime? No. What about the young lady that got murdered in her father's arms?
No. Where is the victim of people crossing the border to make a better life for themselves? Don't you talk about murderers, because there's obviously a victim with a murderer. So what about the people who come here for making a better life for themselves?
That's crossing our border is coming here with great intentions, to be completely honest with you.
Grave intentions or great intentions? What did you say?
Not every single last one of the people that come into our country and cross our borders illegally has great intentions to come here and live the American dream.
Okay, so fear-mongering. So you're fear-mongering. You don't actually have a victim.
I'm mongering that.
There's no victim. I want to bring Jay Noon in here. He's just jumping in here real fast. He wasn't expecting to be on the show here tonight, but he's
just means somebody who's selling something.
He's in the studio here. Jay Noon is with us. Go ahead, Jay. Hold on there, buddy. Hold on, John. We got another comment coming at you. I'm just going to put you on hold.
So I am been in this libertarian circle for a very long time, and I have a friend of mine, him and my dad are very good friends, and he's very like an anti-open border libertarian, thinks that like immigration policy should be, strictly enforced, and people shouldn't be allowed to come in this country. And I say to him, okay, so everybody needs to carry papers then, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, I go, how are you going to tell if somebody's, I go, because I don't have any government paperwork. I don't want to do anything with that. I don't want to ask government permission to exercise rights. I don't want to contract with them. So I don't have a driver's license. I don't have any government ID, nothing with my picture or name on it. And I don't want any of that stuff. But I happen to have white privilege because probably I'm not going to have too many problems. I don't have any kind of foreign accent. I look like, I was, from around here.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was, I don't know, maybe if my mom or something or my dad was maybe Italian or maybe, some kind of Hispanic or whatever, then I could have some problems if this was heavily enforced. I mean, so how are you going to regulate people that are within the nation if you, the only way you could do is everybody would have to show papers, and
right.
So
it has to be you have a choice. You could have a free country or a police state.
I agree with you as far as that's concerned. I completely agree. Look, man, I don't know the answer to the question, but it is a problem, and you can't say that it's completely victimless, guys. I know you guys.
Yes, I absolutely can.
Look, okay, we can say it. If you'll slow down for a second, I will explain to you how it's victimless. Coming into the border, crossing the border of the United States of America, not asking for any government assistance in any way, shape, or form, and working hard for someone is not a crime with a victim, okay? No. Just because some jackhole, what town do you live in? I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
Dover.
I'm in Dover.
Okay, great. So you're in Dover. Is everybody in Dover a law-abiding citizen, or does some of them have malintent?
Absolutely.
Should we execute everyone in Dover?
No.
Or deport them?
All right, then stop making group statements. Best explanation I got.
So John, were you
execute illegal immigrants either? I've never made the comment
I didn't say that. I'm taking
a problem, guys.
I'm taking an absolute position.
But it is a problem.
No, people coming here and looking for a better life for themselves is not a problem. But did you say you were agreeing with what Jay said, where you didn't want to have to show papers at checkpoints? Is that, just want to make sure we're clear on that?
That's a little outlandish and ridiculous. And I don't agree with the checkpoints. I don't believe that any citizen in this country should be stopped at any time and ask for anything.
Good,
so
we agree on that much.
Something out, man.
That's the only way to do that. The only way you can.
I'm not an immigrant hater.
Okay,
I'm not. Absolutely.
How about raiding businesses?
But it is a problem.
No,
if you don't do the checkpoints, if you don't raid businesses and demand Americans, forms for filling out for every one of their employees, if you don't enforce this stuff, you don't have a border. All the Customs and Border Patrol is a big government make-work program.
Wall, guys? What about
it works so great with Germany.
The law is only applied against people that the government wants to apply it against.
Oh no, it'll apply to a lot of us if you want to
And the wall's irrelevant because you could build yourself an ultralight for not a lot of money, fly across. Guys, they tunnel. Yep. You climb the wall. You can set ladders up.
A modernized wall. I mean, artificial intelligence nowadays, they're capable of listening to your conversation on your cell phone and giving you a million pop-up ads in regards to the conversation you just had. So I'm sure there's ways. It's not going to be a brick wall like the Great Wall of China, guys. I'm talking a modern, artificially intelligent wall.
An artificially intelligent wall?
I'm not talking about a wall. I think a wall is a big waste of money because you could just let people come here and work. But a wall does supersede a lot of the legal problems that we're talking about here. I say that you can save money just by letting free people cross borders freely. Don't let them use any government services. Don't let them vote. The ones that want to come here and work hard will do that.
Thanks, John, for the call. I appreciate the discussion here tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Richard's in Washington State, listening to KBKW in Aberdeen. Hello, Richard.
Hello.
Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, I want to agree with that gentleman on the phone just a minute ago.
Yeah. Why? What part?
What diseases are these people bringing back?
See, that's a
leprosy.
That's a different statement.
Don't even.
Hold on, Richard. Hold on. We got to bring you back here if you want to keep yelling at us.
Drug-resistant tuberculosis, leprocy. That one we've heard before. Also,
cholera.
They're eating our dogs.
Right. Yeah, somebody claimed that one years ago. The toll-free number here, 855. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. 855-450-3733. And Skype in if you like. Skype username here is LRN.FM. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. and dogs love it. Try Lico-Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Good technology is good, but the philosophy behind the tech is important. And Zencash was made by voluntarists with the ideas of voluntary interaction being embedded into the white paper. With no central authority or single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. And Zencash allows for secure private transactions. Learn more at zencash.com.
I tried other brands, but I came back to my Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck, or back, or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long-distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
Our homegrown small business tries to help people just like us. That's why we design and test our handmade products with great care before we introduce them to the public. You can easily find Sunny Bay heating pads on Amazon. Just go to Amazon.com and search for Sunny Bay heating pads.
We've made significant progress wiring the nation's schools for the internet, but we have to do more. Every child in America should have an internet-capable computer in their bedroom at home, preferably with a high-resolution webcam. I have been to children's chat rooms and have been shocked and disappointed to find they are frequently empty. Even when these youngsters do manage to find their way online, they lack the skills to do something as simple as pinpoint their location on Google Maps. I long for the day when someone can log onto the Nickelodeon Under 13 chat room and type, "Hey, any kids in here like to play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? I have a Nintendo at my house," and be overwhelmed with instant messages. Then I'll know we're doing our job supporting technology in this country.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here. Our number 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Dude who was on the line hung up. I guess he was just too angry. Didn't want to stick it out.
Let me address his issue, though.
We'll get to that. Hold on. I just also want to let you know about freetalklive.com, where you can go back and listen to archives of the show. So you want to hear us talking about Ross Ulbricht being
You want to hear
shot
us
down
be consistent on the issue of immigration for the last... we were talking about this back in 2002.
Were we?
Yeah,
I mean, that's when we started. I don't remember what we talked about in 2002, but anyway, yeah, we've been talking about this for a long time. You can go back and grab archives that go all the way back to, I think, as far back as 2006, all completely free. So more than a decade's worth of shows free for you over at freetalklive.com. And, of course, you can search our site. So if you want to search for immigration, I'm sure you'll come up with hours upon hours, if not weeks, worth of content and
just listen.
And discussions, all free. You can download as much as you want at freetalklive.com as we continue here. So, Mark, you wanted to address this issue of they got diseases.
It is true, right? So to some extent, when you talk about poor people coming from Central American countries, you're dealing with diseases that we don't deal with that often here. Tuberculosis. In some cases, drug-resistant tuberculosis. So, for instance, because they're on the move, they're poor, they're scared of lawmen for very good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Many of the callers that we've had today show why migrants should be afraid of lawmen. Let's not forget that 30 or 40 years ago, people could cross the border. It was a porous border, and people crossed the border and, picked fruit and then went home and did all those stuff. When you make the border non-porous, well, of course they stay. And of course they use your government services.
Mm-hmm.
Duh. You don't put a bowl of cat food out every day and expect cats not to come. You don't get mad because cats came to your bowl of cat food.
Oh,
It's
they're
ridiculous.
getting mad. They're mad.
So,
they want action.
Drug-resistant tuberculosis. How are we going to deal with that? Best argument I have is it's cheaper to provide medical services to people crossing the border than it is to provide this huge custom and border patrol apparatus with people and guns and helicopters and all this other stuff. That's it. Get your churches together.
I thought you said no welfare.
Get your churches together, in my opinion. Look, I'm only addressing a concern here.
Yeah.
If somebody has a concern, well, if you consider health to be a government service, then this should be something you should want to know, because there are people crossing the border. They're not all getting caught. You should want them all screened by a medical professional, and if you want that, you should pay for it. Figure out how to pay for it.
Well, and I think that services like healthcare should be provided on a consensual basis across the board. We don't need to have government providing these things. We don't need to have the state at all. There's no need for a violent organization of people that rules over a particular landmass like we currently have arbitrarily and ruling over all of us. I mean, I understand why people are mad these days, because the government is a very unfair organization that steals from you and then takes the money that they've stolen from you and uses it on things you don't agree with. Whatever it is.
As the inimitable Carrie Brown used to say, the government breaks your legs, hands you a crutch, and then says, what would you do without us?
Indeed. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. Rod is on the line, calling from Minnesota. Rod, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello.
Hi, Rod. You're on the air. Hopefully. Maybe not. Nope, we're going to put you back on hold here. I don't know what that was, but maybe it was a bad cell connection.
Bad cell, maybe a VoIP line.
We're going to try to get you back here in a little bit, Rod. We'll have our board up, check on you there. Let's try Megan in the meantime. She's in Wisconsin. And Megan, you're on the air. Go ahead with your thoughts. Listening to WRRD at WTTN. Go ahead.
Hi there. I was just driving through Wisconsin, and I caught you guys. I heard you say that there are no negative impacts to illegal immigration.
I don't think you heard us say that.
No, we definitely didn't say that. Okay. But the negative stuff is generally being brought on us by the people calling themselves the federal and state governments, not the people that want to come here and make a better life for themselves.
What we said was there was no victim. There is no victim to the crime of crossing the border. It's a victimless crime like smoking a joint.
Okay, right, but if you smoke a joint enough times, you could get lung cancer.
There's not really much evidence for that.
Yeah, if I get lung cancer and I pay for my own lung cancer treatment, there's still no victim. If the government says, "Well, we're going to take away your right to have your own treatments, and we're going to provide you with universal health care," then everybody's a victim. But they're a victim of the government health care system. They're not a victim of my lung cancer.
I agree with that, but I think
true.
that you are. I think you are not seeing the point that, I mean, maybe not seeing, but maybe not considering that, the victims could well be taxpayers in communities who don't have the education infrastructure, don't have the police force, don't have, environmental standards to deal with an influx of people who don't speak the language.
Where do you think the people that don't? Well, first off, where do you think the people that don't speak the language are going to live? They're going to live in houses. If you don't have the infrastructure and police departments and stuff for the houses that already exist, then that's not much
Somebody
of an
will
issue.
build a new house at some point if
Right.
they
I
need
mean,
that.
they've already got zoning laws. Not that I support those either.
But it seems like it's what you're saying here is that because of the right. So what you're saying is right. Taxpayers would have to pay more for certain services like government education. So what you're saying is you're actually being victimized by the government.
Right.
So the government is stealing from you.
The most successful gang in a given geographic area says, "Pay us money, or we will take your house. Pay us money, or we will put you in jail."
And they've gotten you to.
And then they give some of that money to illegal immigrants, and you're blaming the immigrants.
And they've gotten you to blame these people.
That's what's happening.
I don't think you heard me say I blame the immigrants at all.
Well,
I don't think
you're
I
saying
said
that
even
you're saying that it has an
a tiny
effect,
bit.
right? So let's not blame
Okay, fine.
the immigrants here. Let's blame the government.
I'm not blaming anyone. I'm saying that illegal immigration to this country certainly has victims, and it certainly has consequences. And
It doesn't have victims. Hold on, wait a second. You can say that when I smoke my pot, if you say that if you're going to extrapolate out a victim way out into the future, then there's always a victim, right? Like I've just exhaled carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide's a poison. I've just killed our future generations.
No, I don't think I put it in quite such extreme terms. I'm talking about, local community populations that have, tax bases, and if there is an influx of new residents that do not pay taxes, that stresses the system. And
they
the
pay
victims
taxes.
are the people.
Have you ever paid rent before? You know the landlord's paying the taxes based on the rent that you pay, right?
Okay, but if you're here illegally, you're not working legally. Therefore, you're not paying taxes.
Actually, you're wrong about that too. Plenty of them actually use other people's social security numbers to get jobs, and they're absolutely paying taxes. Some of them they don't even get any.
It gets very, very difficult and murky to decide who's paying taxes on what. I made a proposal that said,
I know what I pay taxes on.
Right, you're a victim. Look, I understand. You are a victim of the
but
government.
you are a victim of the government.
Right.
You are a victim of the most successful criminal gang in a given geographic area.
But all right. But let me say this as well. Now, these taxes that I am victimized by paying, they offer me services. I'm not saying
they're not
I
offered.
love them.
You're forced to
you
take
may
those
avail
services.
yourself
I'm
of the
forced to
services.
pay them. But for that, I get a say in who gets elected president and who is my representative to the government.
When was the last time? Wait a second. You get a say. That's true. But when was the last time your vote mattered for president? I'm waiting.
This very last time.
No, it didn't. There was not a single state where that vote mattered. Not one state did one vote matter.
No. You're minimizing my vote based on every single person in my state?
Based on math. But you see,
No,
the way
I'm
our
not
system
sure
works.
that you understand economics, math, immigration. I mean, really, when these people
we're just
leave their
dummies
country
anyway.
because they come
What are
here,
we talking about?
those are the best and brightest. Those are the people who have the gutspaw to, leave and make the journey and get here. If those people stayed in their country and got together, they could make things better for everyone there.
Wow, you are living in a fantasy land. You really think that voting's going to make things better? Just stay in your tyrannical country. Stay in Venezuela.
You
Make
can't
it
do
better.
anything to the United States federal government, and then you think that other people should stay in Central American governments.
Yeah, it's
you can't
ridiculous, lady.
One person can't do anything against the federal government unless you go to work as a lobbyist and stop doing something productive. I'm proposing that these people come here and do productive things that would benefit this country. I'm also proposing that they not be able to avail themselves of any government services. That honestly includes schooling. I think that they would figure out ways to school their kids. I think the Catholic Church would step in. I think that a variety of churches would step in and educate these kids. But this is a proposal intended to sidestep the ignorance and bigotry that surrounds immigration.
Well, I've really been enjoying hearing these anti-immigrant people here, the anti-so-called illegal immigrant people, trying to justify and bend over backwards to claim...
Why should I pay for illegal immigrants' kids' schooling? Why?
To claim that it's actually a crime with a victim. I mean, I've been really enjoying this backbending. It's ridiculous. Yep. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. I mean, have these people ever actually been victimized directly in their lives?
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Temporarily from the Libertarian National Convention in New Orleans, this is Darrell W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, June 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,253 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,401. Antiwar.com reports earlier this week the State Department revealed that they are ordering allies worldwide to stop buying oil from Iran. This is part of an effort to drive Iranian oil exports to zero and is centered on the U.S. withdrawing from the P5+1 nuclear deal. This is having a substantial impact on the regional and global economy. Saudi Arabia looks to be the most immediate beneficiary, with the country expecting record oil production in the next month to meet rising demand. The main purchasers of Iran's oil exports are India and China, and Indian refiners have suggested that they will be obeying the U.S. demands. China has not addressed the U.S. demands and probably won't accept them since they remain a party to the nuclear deal. Iran is trying to secure continued exports abroad, particularly pushing the EU to agree to buy oil as part of saving the nuclear deal from the U.S. Whether this is successful remains to be seen, but the U.S. seems determined to scare away Iran's customers, and oil prices have been rising on the expectation this will continue.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
UPI reports the names of the Capital Gazette journalists killed Thursday in Annapolis, Maryland, likely will be placed on the Newseum's Journalist Memorial Wall next year, according to the head of the Freedom Forum Institute. Gene Polisinski, who is also the chief operating officer of the Newseum Institute, said, "I would think that the nature of this, the tragedy, the great number of it, will mean that their names will unfortunately be on this wall in 2019. Jared Ramos is accused of breaking into the Gazette's offices Thursday afternoon and shooting to death 4 journalists and one cell staff member before being arrested. He had threatened the newspaper in 2013 in the midst of a lawsuit he filed, saying reporters defamed him by reporting that he was convicted of harassing a former high school classmate online. The lawsuit was later dismissed. In the aftermath of the attack, law enforcement stepped up security at major newspaper organizations around the country. Adopting precautionary measures is important, but the best measures won't be enough until the ongoing rhetoric against the news media ends, according to Frank Smith, head of the Global Journalist Security, a firm that trains journalists in risk mitigation and safety measures. President Trump's criticisms of the media are feeding the anger at the root of verbal and physical attacks on journalists, according to Smith. He said Capitol Gazette is the worst attack on journalists and press freedom in the history of the United States. Policinski said that Americans have less trust in journalists today, not just because of the frankly ridiculous political debate where journalists are enemies of the people, but because there are fewer local journalists covering news that matters to people's lives. Trump has called journalists enemies of the people and labeled stories as fake news regardless of their veracity. During his presidential campaign, he often urged crowds to turn on the reporters covering him, including offering to pay legal bills if anyone was arrested for assaulting a reporter. While journalists covering international conflicts often face risk, it's rare that those working in the United States are targeted. Over the past 26 years, the Committee to Protect Journalists recorded 7 other deaths in the country, a relatively small number compared to the 1,306 journalists killed around the world during the same period. The most striking thing is that the journalists at the Capitol Gazette were sitting at a desk of the local newspaper, not in the midst of a war zone or even violent domestic riot. 2 days before the Annapolis shooting, Milo Yiannopoulos, former senior editor at Breitbart, told a reporter, "I can't wait for vigilante squads to start gunning down journalists on sight."
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. Starbucks begins its sinister Phase 2 of operation. This is Doyle Redland reporting. After a decade of aggressive expansion throughout North America and abroad, Starbucks suddenly and unexpectedly closed its 56,423 worldwide locations today to prepare for what insiders call Phase 2 of the company's long-range plan. Cynthia Valcant, Starbucks head of marketing, made this brief statement at a press conference earlier today.
We have enjoyed furnishing you with coffee-related beverages and are excited about the important role you play in our future plans.
Existing Starbucks franchises across the nation have been shuttered with high-strength titanium, and the well-known Starbucks logo has been slightly altered to present the familiar mermaid figure as a cyclopean mermaid whose all-seeing eye forms the apex of a world-spanning pyramid. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want as we launch into the second hour of this live Saturday edition of the program. Joining you tonight, it's Ian
and Mark.
We've got Skype, if you want to Skype into the show. Skype username is lrn.fm. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line room at discord.lrn.fm. And also the toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, which are, by the way, full right now, the toll-free lines, 855-450-3733. We will get to everybody if you're on hold, so stick with us. And people want to comment on immigration, though, Mark, you wanted to briefly inject an answer to...
The lady suggested that I was somehow disenfranchising her vote. I want to just make it 100% clear.
Because you said to her, your vote didn't matter, and she said, yes, it did.
Yes, it did! Right? Like, they counted it, but if you didn't vote... and the result would have been the same, which has been 100% true for 100% of people in the last century here in the United States when it comes to a presidential election. 100% of people, if they didn't vote, the election results would have been the same. Because even in 2000, in Florida, there was still a separation of dozens of votes. So one person doesn't make a difference when it comes to voting. Please don't tell me how I have a say in my government.
All right, we continue with your calls and your thoughts. Jackie is on the line listening to WIBC-FM in Indianapolis. Hello, Jackie. Jackie in Indianapolis. Jackie going once.
Yes.
Hello, we have you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
We got you now.
Hello.
Yep, you're on the air.
Okay. I just want to say I appreciate you guys for standing your ground. And you guys are telling the truth. A lot of these people that are calling in, they're just foaming their own opinions about the government. I think they're giving the government a little too much credit. I've been in America all my life, and I'm black. And I lost my job in 2009. And I didn't start working until 2016. And I didn't get no government assistance. I'm working now. I'm doing good. And we just need to let people be people and realize that this earth does not belong to one race. It belongs to everybody. God created it. And we need to learn to show some compassion. So I agree with you guys, and I applaud you. Stand your ground and keep speaking.
Thanks,
the truth,
Jackie.
man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate hearing from you. It's nice to hear somebody out there with some compassion. I mean, some of these anti-immigration zealots try to act like, oh, I'm in favor of immigrants. I
think
just
it's
want them to
amazing that a
obey.
person lost their job and was out of work for close to a decade and chose to take
didn't take welfare.
Government assistance.
Yeah, that's great. But anyway, what I was saying there, Mark, was that the anti-immigration zealots here love to claim that they're in favor of immigrants, just so long as you jump through every hoop the United States federal government jumps through, because they make me jump through hoops all the time. And if I've got to jump through hoops, then you've got to jump through hoops too, because that's what freedom's all about.
Yeah, try going through the immigration process and see what the answer is. But the fact is I've met plenty of immigrants who think that everybody else after them should stay out. And
closed club.
Yeah,
I made
understand. I get it. I get it. Look, if the government makes you pay for other people's kids' schooling and all the other stuff, I understand why you don't want that. But prior to the progressive era in the late 1800s, early 1900s, prior to that era, every nation considered more people and more land to benefit. But
it's always been a benefit economically.
Ask yourself this, America, if Chihuahua voted to join the United States.
It's a city of Mexico.
That's a state in Mexico. It's an estado. Okay, a state of Mexico decided to vote to join the United States. Would you vote to let them in? And I suspect the answer is no. Why in the world would you do that? That would be a tremendous tax burden. That's because the government has stepped in between you and dealing with other people, and they've inserted themselves into your life. If a bully comes up, punches you in the nose, takes your wallet, and then gives some of that money to some poor, disenfranchised mother of orphans or whatever. Orphans, mother doesn't make sense.
Blame that mother is insane.
To blame the mother is insane. It's the bully punching you in the nose.
Let's go to Brett. He's in Indianapolis also, listening to WIBC-FM. Hello, Brett.
Hello. How are you all doing tonight?
Good. You're on the air.
Good. I wanted to agree with a couple things and then disagree with a couple things.
Sure.
One being that the federal government is the biggest mafia along with the world government.
Yep.
And then I'm not 100% convinced about whether immigrants do cause strain on the economy as far as housing and job rates, the pay rate for jobs. As it is now, there's more jobs than people, and it is causing incentive to raise rates.
Yeah, right now, that's absolutely true. In a down economy, though, you could certainly expect if a bunch of unskilled labor is introduced into the marketplace, you can expect the value of labor to decrease over time. I mean, labor is just another commodity like anything else, except that the vast majority of us sell it for time.
Right. But at the present, I mean, I did construction for 20 years, and I'm not 100% positive, but from what I had seen and the way what I had been reading, and some of it could have been incorrect, imagine that, but that my wages stayed stagnant for that 15 to 20 years.
I'm sure that's true.
Due to cheap wages coming or labor coming in, which that's why skill-based, I'm wondering why people aren't pushing more for skill-based. Are they
skill-based
people
immigration?
with the money making are the people with the money that are making the laws worried they're going to take their jobs or what?
Well, this is so here's you've dug a little deeper. So let's talk about that. The reason that there are illegal immigrants in this country is that the people that make the money, that pay the politicians, they want it that way. Because an illegal immigrant can't jump job to job like you could.
Basically a servant, indentured slave, or whatever.
Right. So they go work at a place, whether it's a meat packing plant or a construction crew, or whether they're doing picking in the fields or whatever. And then they say, you know what? They're getting 25 cents more a bushel next door. I'd like to go work for that crew. And the guy says, oh, that's fine, but I'm going to call INS.
Hey, Brett, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Let's go to Dan on the line, listening to KQEW in Arkansas. Dan, you're on Free Talk Live. You listening on the FM side?
Yeah.
Excellent. Brand new FM translator there in Fordyce. Welcome. You're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Good. You're on the air.
I think you guys smoke too much pot.
Whoa,
I don't smoke pot.
What is
What's
your
up?
evidence, sir?
Ian, I suspect you smoke too much pot.
Just your attitudes towards pot smoking and your attitudes towards everything else. Attitudes towards immigration.
What do you got against pot?
Everything.
What do you got against
What
cannabis?
do you think pot has to do with immigration?
Well, I think you guys probably smoke too much pot.
I said that.
I heard you make that. Did you hear me make the claim that I do not smoke it?
Yeah, but
am I a liar? Call me a liar.
I don't know. It's just the impression that I get.
All right.
I'm not saying that you do.
Do you want me to just expound on some impressions I have about you for sticking with your guns?
The impression
Because
I
my
get from
mama
you
told
guys
me not to call people these
is
words.
You've been smoking pot since you were like teenagers.
You're an
I
a-hole.
have.
How's that?
I have.
I think you're rude. I think you beat your wife.
I think you drink too much.
I think you were rebellious. You were like a rebellious teenager.
I was definitely a rebellious teenager, but now I'm a pretty smart guy, and I can back up my arguments without calling people names like Pothead.
All right, Dan.
You're always making claims about pot, about
That's Ian.
That it doesn't. You just said a little bit ago there's no proof that it causes lung cancer.
No, actually, there really isn't any proof for that.
Look,
and I don't know.
Do you have
as
some
far
proof?
as being- as far
You
as
have some
guys
proof, Dan, or
being
you just want to
libertarians?
believe it's going to be a cancerous agent?
Yeah, as far as you guys being libertarians,
You don't have any proof. That's okay.
I think that you might
expect
call
you to.
yourself libertarians,
Yep.
and might be kind of wannabe anarchists, but don't have the guts to be anarchists.
Well, I don't believe in the term anarchy because
Yeah.
it's it functionally doesn't work for the English language.
But I am
have read
anti-state. I'm
I have
pro-peace.
read some anarchist thought, and some of the people that write it, I agree with many of the things that they say, but I would call myself a voluntarist.
Thanks for the insults, Dan. Appreciate it. Toll-free number here, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want on the radio. Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. Blinkprotect.com/FTL to save 15%.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment, it gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here, although I suspect every call is going to be about immigration just because that's how things tend to go when this topic comes up.
Well, the last guy just called us a bunch of pot smokers.
That's true, but he was mad about our comments about immigration. The suggestion was that you must be a pothead if you support people coming into a supposedly free country without having to beg some government bureaucrat's permission.
I'd like to take this opportunity to explain the difference between an ad hominem attack and an insult.
I'll let you do that here in a moment.
But first, insult. Wait a second.
Let's talk about Liberty.menu here, Mark. I understand that you've got a lot of important things to say. We've got calls to get to, but Liberty.menu is an important website where libertarians, which we are, and voluntarists, which we are, anarchists as well, people who are against the idea of the state, people who reject the initiation of force, and who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. If that describes you, and it doesn't describe most of the callers to the show tonight.
It doesn't describe most people in America.
Then you belong over at Liberty.menu. You will find some cool liberty-friendly business owners who have put their whatever it is they do, their business on the site. It's basically a libertarian business directory. There's also events listings and digital content listings as well. And it's free to use, so there's really no cost beyond the time that it takes to put your thing that you do, or the things that you do, on the site for other libertarians to find out. So go and check it out at liberty.menu. All right, Mark, what did you want to clarify?
The difference between an insult and an ad hominem attack.
Okay.
An ad hominem attack.
Insults like, you're a poopy head.
Right. You're a pothead is an insult.
Okay.
You're wrong, and all the things you say are incorrect because you're a pothead is an ad hominem attack.
Ah, okay.
So it has to do with the argument you're making at the time. Please go ahead.
Let's go on here. Your calls and thoughts are welcome to the phones and the fun. We're actually going to go to Gene, the Christian anarchist. He's on the line here with
There's an anarchist for you.
Right, a real anarchist with us here. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live, and you're on via our Discord on-air call-in line room, so you're going to be the best-sounding call of the night so far. Go ahead.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, we're on the Discord discussing which drugs Mark should be trying. So,
what's the consensus?
Why don't you guys sit it past my
I'm
wife?
voting for some LSD.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, man, I did a third of hit of LSD at Forkfest, and it was fantastic.
I haven't done any for like 40 years, but I'm sure it's the same stuff. Anyway,
yeah, well, now you can actually get like the real deal on the internet, because you can actually have it tested these days, so you can know for sure. Like there's online drug labs that you can send them to.
Yeah, in the 60s, we never knew what stuff was being cut with, and a lot of people had a bad trip.
Indeed.
I must say that I'm glad that the notion that you're testing these things at drug labs rather than just taking anything that any drug dealer on the internet's sending you.
Anyway, what were you calling about, though?
Earlier, one of the guys talking about the immigration touched on authority, and I wanted to go into that because I've got a little something that I've come up with that I call the law of creation. And basically it boils down to this: whatever is the creator of something else is the only one who has authority over that thing that was created.
I kind of agree with this.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I believe in corporate taxes as opposed to other taxes. The government creates corporations.
You asked them for one.
Yeah, you asked them for one voluntarily. So I think the government has the right to tax corporations. Admittedly, I think that people in corporations to be responsible for their actions and a whole bunch of other things, but that's the only legitimate tax that I see.
Now here's where it goes. Most of us that believe in a creator believe that he created us, so therefore he has authority over us. That's kind of indistinguishable. It's not disputable. If you're a believer, obviously. If you're not a believer, if you're an atheist and you believe that nature created us, well, then nature is your authority over us.
Right.
But at any rate, where it falls apart is with the government, which I like to call the Goonerment. The Goonerment was supposedly created by a bunch of bald, well, they weren't bald like me.
But they wore wigs.
Yeah, they wore wigs. So people created the government.
Right.
And so therefore the people, since they're the creator, have the authority over the government. Now, if you look at all of the founding documents that these guys wrote, they had that principle in there. The principle was that, number one, the federal government, when it was created, had basically no authority to do anything.
Nearly
to the
no
people.
power.
Yeah, it was virtually powerless. And the state governments weren't much more. And what happened over time is that the creation, the government, has turned the tables on the creator, the people, and has started to push the creator around. That's totally opposite of nature. Nature says the creator is the one who has the authority, not the created. And what's happened is we've allowed them somehow. I mean, we've just gone to sleep. Of course,
it's a generational problem where, like you're saying, somehow, at some point over time, these government people, who are just people like the rest of us, started telling everybody what to do, and they went along with it at some point.
We voted on it, so it's okay.
No, it's not.
And
a group of people that are generally considered liars and thieves by everyone. We voted. The liars and thieves have gotten together, and we voted, and we've decided that what we say is true, and if you don't go by it, you're going to be in trouble.
And if we also realize this law of creation, or this law, the law of creation, then that also shows us that today, what we have today, was not created by us. So therefore, it really has no authority over us. It arguably only had authority over the people that signed that document. It didn't have authority over Joe Blow down the street that didn't sign it. And it kind of acknowledged that at the time, but somehow we've allowed the people at the top, the movers and the shakers, I call them, they have fooled us, and they've used things like public education to dumb us down.
Sure.
They don't teach people how to use creative thought. I mean, not creative thought, but a thought where you question things. You know, they don't teach you to use your brain. That
would be a danger to them if you were to do that.
They want you to follow orders and do what you're told. And this is why I point to people in the church that, you know, if you look at the front of your church and you see those two flags, most churches will have an American flag and a Christian flag. A lot of them do. Okay. But if you look at those flags, you're going to go take a tape measure to the flagpoles, and pretty much every one of them will have the American flag sitting on a pole that's 1 inch longer than the Christian flag. And I say to all you Christians, well, who is your God?
The state.
Which one of those flags represents your God? Because you're flying that other flag higher. If you want to fly a flag higher, it should be the Christian flag. Christian flag should be on the top of your flagpole. You want to put your
I can't see how the flag isn't a graven image, frankly. I mean, I don't see
an icon.
It is. Yeah. It's clearly an icon. I mean, it fits all those definitions.
Gene, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate the discussion. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. As we continue here, Peggy's on the line in Indianapolis. Peggy, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, I really enjoyed the last caller.
Tell you what, I'm sorry, you're getting drowned out by that music. Stand by, Peggy. We're going to bring you back here and make sure you're on. I don't know if you're on a speakerphone or something, but if you are, switch that to your regular phone configuration, and we will bring you back here in just a moment. Hopefully, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. If you want to join us, we got plenty of time for you. You can take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live with Ian and Mark. Live Saturday edition continues.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and the live Saturday edition continuing now with Ian
and Mark.
We've got Skype. If you want to Skype into the show, our number, or rather username is lrn.fm. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line room, which is open for you now that the Christian Anarchist has exited that room, and it will make you sound like, probably almost like you're sitting in the studio here, as long as you've got a half-decent microphone. So that's over at discord.lrn.fm. Plus, we got full phone lines as well, which we're going to go back to here shortly. The phone number is toll-free, and it's 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. If you want to join the Discord, it's super easy to do. There's the Christian Anarchist and others who are, some are callers, some are never callers, but people who are, into the show, they go there and they chat during the show, sometimes before and even after.
Who can blame
the program over at go to discord.lrn.fm. There's an app available if you prefer that sort of thing, and I happen to think their app's pretty great. It's available for Windows, for Linux, for Macintosh, for Android, for iOS. If you're not into an app, then you can just try it through their web version, and that works too.
That's generally what I do.
So discord.lrn.fm. I've got the app everywhere. It's on the studio computer here. It's on my phone. It's on my laptop. So I've got Discord with me pretty much wherever I go. Because there's sometimes some amusing conversations and memes and things like that get posted in there. It's pretty active Discord.
It beats Facebook.
Yeah, it does. So anyway, discord.lrn.fm. Back to your phone calls. Peggy is with us here. And I'm sorry about that short shift there, Peggy. You're back on. Go ahead.
Okay, I really enjoyed your last caller. He
Thanks.
made a lot of sense.
He's great.
But what I'm calling about is when, and I thank you for taking my call, someone made the statement that let all of them in. But I have this concern. They don't speak English, so how do we know they're not part of the cartel, the ISIS, whatever terrorist group? Standing right in front of us.
Let's address that before you go on. Let's address that. Historically, there have been people who have not spoken English who've come here, and they've set up.
New Mexico's constitution is written in Spanish and English,
and they've set up areas that are friendly to those folks. Think Chinatown. Think Little Italy. And these, are places that exist in mostly larger cities now in the United States. These are places where those folks could come to, and they could find others who spoke their language as they were trying to integrate into the society and learn English. And, of course, as it turns out, over, 2 generations, generally, by the second or third generation.
By the third generation, generally third-generation immigrants can simply not speak
the original
tongue.
Language. But as far as the fear about, are they with the cartel? Well, first of all, if we didn't have a war on drugs, then the cartels would have nothing that they could actually transit in. So that's your problem with the cartels is a problem with the war on drugs. If you end the war on drugs, cartels would dry up overnight, basically.
Not overnight, but it takes some time.
Basically.
At this point, they're giving competition to the governments in Mexico, so that's a problem.
ISIS is completely a result of U.S. foreign policy for the most part. Going over and meddling in other countries around the world, especially in the Middle East, is basically what led to the creation of ISIS.
Also, if they're not speaking Spanish and they're crossing the southern border, you probably could pay a little closer attention to them because people from ISIS don't speak Spanish.
But either way, despite all that, there's always going to be somebody who can say, well, there's some bad people out there, whether it's ISIS or whether it's terrorists or whoever. There's bad people out there, and we got to use the government to keep bad people out. And the reality is the government are the bad people for the most part.
And they're in power.
They're the ones who are ruling over our lives. They're the ones who are telling us how to live, telling us what to not to do, telling us what to do, arbitrarily extracting some amount of money from us every single year, basically stealing your productivity and destroying freedom. They're the real threat, and people need to really put the blame on them where it belongs. Your thoughts?
Well, I agree with you there.
All right, Peggy. Anything else you want to share tonight?
Well, let's see. Also, I think, and I think it's great with not letting them have welfare and all,
sure.
But I don't think our people should have welfare after so long. I think it should be a short time. They either go to work or they don't eat. These parents are babying their children till they don't know how to work, and they need work programs to make them work. And also, they have a certain amount of time. These people's been on welfare forever. They need to find something that they can do. I don't care if you can't walk. There's paperwork you can learn.
Absolutely.
Go to take courses. Let them pay. Let's pay for their courses if they can't afford it. Find some way. I mean, it'd be cheaper than the welfare to get them off that welfare and pay for them to get schooling and make them work. And if they can't hold a job, then they're out of a home. They're out on the street.
Yep, those consequences are natural.
Let's not forget the pride and the sense of purpose that work gives. Work gives us, in many cases, for men at the very least, I don't know how it is for women, but men identify as their job. I am a carpenter, mold maker.
Sometimes it's in the last name of the family.
Whatever it is.
Cook.
Yeah, in that case. So they, it gives you a reason for being, a reason for getting up in the morning. And I think that it's so important in that way that work is the very best thing that we can do for ourselves.
Great call tonight, Peggy.
A lot of them don't know that.
Yep.
Okay.
I appreciate your call. I really appreciate hearing from you. I like the perspective there. And the only thing I would quibble on is that government welfare isn't really even necessary at all. I mean, so she said it should be a short term, and certainly that would be an improvement on the existing situation. But if you get rid of the government out of welfare and you allow people who actually care, because I'm sorry, maybe there are some bureaucrats that care, but for the most part, there's some cold-hearted, automaton bureaucrats out there who really are just wanting to cash in on their sweet government benefits and paycheck.
Well, they see a lot of people who claim to have a big need all the time, and at some point or another, you just become jaded.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame somebody for that, but either way, if you actually have people who care, say at the Salvation Army or whatever your local charitable organizations might be, then they're more likely to actually pay attention to the recipients individually and kind of know what their situation is and help them as they are needed, whatever kind of help they need, whether it's putting together a resume, getting out there, or whatever it is they need. There would be people who would be actually helping because they care. They're volunteering. They're there to assist those folks. Unlike government welfare.
This is a guess, but it's not the most uneducated guess out there. I think that charities would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 10 times more efficient than the federal government when it comes to taking care of poor people who have a need.
There's a good chance of that, but even if it were 4 times more efficient, Mark, that would be significant.
You should jump right on it.
Yeah, because even if it were 4 times...
If there's a product or service out there that is 4 times as efficient as the one you're forced to use, you should jump right on it.
And even if it were just 4 times more efficient, and I think there is a strong argument that it'd be more like 8 times, but even if it were just 4 times more efficient, you got to keep in mind... One of the objections of getting rid of if you get rid of welfare, people won't donate. Well, even if a quarter of the donations were coming in,
right?
The existing charitable structure would be able to handle all the.
If it was 4 times more efficient and it only got a quarter of the amount of donations, bam, you're on even keel. Now, to say the American American donating base out there is going to not be able to support this, I think is insulting.
It really is.
To the most generous nation on earth.
Yeah, every time some sort of disaster happens, even if it's not in our backyard, even if it's halfway across the world, Americans pour out their support. Remember the old typhoon in Thailand that did significant damage? There was a ton of money coming from the United States to that place, and most people will never go there. And screw the king in Thailand. 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. We continue here with your calls and thoughts. He's Rob in Virginia, listening to WLNI. Hello, Rob.
Hey, guys, I got to agree with you on the government war on drugs and your position on welfare.
Thank you.
Agree with you guys most of the time. I love the show. I love that I can't agree with you all the time because you two never agree on any single. You always take the opposite side. It's great.
Between each other?
Yeah.
I think we agree, but agree,
then
agree
again,
for
on the other
reasons.
hand, right. Yeah, it's awesome. All right, but I disagree on immigration.
Okay, let's hear it.
We can't have wide open borders. Look, I don't want a country full of Pakistani pushcart operators. I don't. I live in a European first world country, and I want to live in a European first world country with European first world culture.
Hold on.
And
so slow down for a moment here. When you say a pushcart operator, do you mean somebody who's going to sell you a hot dog on the side of the road?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Stand by, Rob. I want to just hang on. We're going to bring you back here. We'll have that discussion here because. I mean, I don't mind people with push carts or whatever, but let's talk about how private property can actually change this into the world that he might actually want with open borders and no push cart operators. This is Free Talk Live. More coming up. You can join us.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open the Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. You dial 911 and the police roll. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Cancer categorizes over 100 diseases. Though we do not diagnose, treat, or cure cancer, GCN team is offering the Clemson University study where there was up to a 95% reduction in cancerous cells when exposed to a plant-derived mineral supplement. If you or a loved one are searching for answers to this horrifying disease, come to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. We'll email you a copy for free. That's 877-878-4203.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices.
Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for lrn.fm in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to lrn.fm. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Live Saturday edition continuing here with you in the studio tonight. It's Ian.
And Mark.
Also, there's pretty big news coming out of SaveItPurse.com, and this message brought to you by Bitcoin.com. I want you to know that now at SaveItPurse.com, which is a site we've been promoting here for years on Free Talk Live, is a place where you could go and spend your Bitcoin to get things at a significant discount through Amazon. I'm talking, no joke, 20% or more in some cases.
Off of Amazon's prices without them running a sale.
Correct.
It's not like a special time. You just get 20% off.
But the catch was you had to use Bitcoin. Now, there were some other ways to use some altcoins through like a shapeshift kind of thing. But now, SaveItPurse.com has absolutely activated the use of Bitcoin Cash. And so many people have been waiting for this because the Bitcoin, their fees are a little bit high on BTC. So Bitcoin Cash is lower fees. It's easier to send it around because of the lower fees. And now it is natively accepted by SaveItPurse.com. So if you've been wanting to spend your Bitcoin Cash at SaveItPurse.com, or you want to save at Amazon and you haven't had a reason to get into cryptocurrency yet, well, now you can just get into Bitcoin Cash and use that through SaveItPurse.com. It's up, it's active. They just sent out an email about it, I think, within the last 24 to 48 hours. So it's a real thing. It's so new, I haven't even tried it yet. And I want to, because I use SaveItPurse frequently. I mean, I would say multiple times every month. Anytime I want something from Amazon, I'm going through SaveItPurse.com and I'm saving 20% at minimum. Because if you put something up for 20% off at Save It Purse, in my experience, it gets snatched up within 24 hours.
Yep.
You usually don't have to wait much longer than that at 20% off. If you want to go for like 33% off, which is the maximum discount, you might be waiting a few weeks. So you kind of have to decide what you're willing to wait, how long you're willing to wait. And SaveItPurse.com makes it so easy to save big time on your purchases. This alone could be a reason for people to get into cryptocurrency. And again, now they're accepting Bitcoin Cash through SaveItPurse.com. As we go back to your calls and thoughts here, Rob is in with us here from WLNI, which is a great FM talk station in Lynchburg, Virginia. And Rob, thanks for sticking with us here because I wanted to have this conversation where you said you agree with us on some issues like welfare, which is awesome, and cannabis and ending the war on drugs. And then you're not you don't agree with us on immigration, and you brought up that you don't want to just let everybody in because that would mean there's a bunch of, these were your words, Pakistani pushcarts that would be around. Somebody offering to sell you some halal food or some hot dogs or whatever, maybe pretzels. And that apparently is bothersome to you. You don't want to see that as you're going about your day because you just don't want to be harassed on the streets. What's the reason for it? Just curious, and then I'll get into
I don't want a country of peasants. Okay, we can select from among everyone, but 80% of the people in the world want to come live here. we can be selective. We're not Pakistan.
I wouldn't call those people peasants. I would call them entrepreneurs. I mean, those are people who want to make a better life for themselves. They've gone out, they've invested in a hot dog cart or whatever, and they're going out and spending their time probably for hours on end in the hot sun, probably in the middle of the summer, to sell people hot dogs. Those are the kind of people I want in the U.S. But let's clarify something here. Since we're talking about a world where we're in a fantasy world, right, where we open the borders, I mean, the odds that that's going to happen in our lifetime probably pretty slim. So since we're in the world of fantasy, let's go ahead and add in the rest of the fantasy, the libertarian fantasy, the one that says that there would be no coercive state anymore. In the world that I think many libertarians envision, we want to see a total private property world where there is no public land, where every street corner, every sidewalk, all of it is privately owned, which means the private owners would be able to decide who's allowed to vend, if anyone at all, on that particular property. So therefore, you could live in a place, presumably, that does not allow for street cart vendors. They would just not be allowed because it'd be private property. Problem solved.
You're getting a little too literal with the Pakistani street cart operators. That's just you're
talking about cultural destruction. Is that what you're talking about?
That's an culturism. Okay, I just don't want to live in a country of peasants. Yes, that guy's great. That he's
you do live in a country of peasants. I mean, the United States is a country of peasants. Half of the United States can't put their hands on $500.
Absolutely, yes. And so we don't need to bring in more people who've never seen $500.
Wait a second.
There's a ton of people waiting out there. There are lines of doctors in Hong Kong who want to come here and invest $250,000.
That may very well be true. I can't address for you. I mean, like, nobody in the United States federal government is going to say, "Oh, well, let's ring up Mark Edge and find out what he thinks about immigration." Sure, well, they should. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's bring in all of the doctors. But the reason we don't have more doctors is because the AMA says this is the amount of doctors we need, and this is how many licenses we're going to give out, and that's the end of the story. You live in
a cartel.
It is a cartel. 100%. The cartel isn't going to let go of its cartelness. So
right. Okay. I yield that point, but there are
I will say, however,
scientists in Sweden. That's who I want. I don't want.
I'll bet you that less than 1% of Swedes want to come to the United States. But I'll bet you less than 3%. So
they used to call it Little America. They all speak English. Sweden and America have a very good affinity. But okay. Look,
so peasants.
Me down on each little thing. My example is
let me get to this on peasants.
Rich, educated people.
Great.
I want rich,
there aren't that many
people.
By the United States' standards. You know that New Hampshire has the highest median income, higher than any European country and any state in the United States. That means you're not talking about a world full of rich people just rushing to the United States. I say let them in, but I also say
I don't understand that. I don't understand that example. What about New Hampshire? I don't get that.
New Hampshire has the highest median income. You're already living in one of the richest countries in the world.
He's not in New Hampshire. Oh, just to clarify.
You're living in one of the richest countries in the world. You're not going to bring in a whole bunch of rich people.
Well, the people who are motivated to come here are the ones.
The reason you're rich is because peasants came here and worked their butts off selling falafel from a pushcart. I'm reminded of the Last Battalion that starred Ricky Schroeder from Silver Spoons in it. It's a great movie about World War I, where he's leading a battalion of immigrants from New York City, and you're talking about pushcart operators from Italy. Germans, Jews, the people who 100 years ago came over here, risked everything in order to work for no welfare at all, no social safety net, worked their butts off and built this country as the greatest one in the world. Rich people don't build anything. They sit around. They can invest, but it's the poor people that put the labor in.
Well, and also you need to keep in mind that not only was it true in the past.
Let him address that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to add this, though.
Okay, great. You just checkmated yourself. You said rightfully and true that we have a boatload of peasants here in America. Half the country can't put their hands on $500.
They don't work.
He's talking about natives.
This welfare system has turned them into incompetent boobs.
He's talking about the natives, dude.
Can't disagree with you there at all.
Okay, let me trade Americans for immigrants then, please.
The peasant Americans for the immigrants?
Let me trade Americans for immigrants. First, we're going to start in the prisons, and then I'm going to go to people who are the bottom 20.
That happened. I grew up in Florida. That happened. Okay, I had Cubans everywhere. I had Cubans everywhere growing up. I'm 53, 54. I don't know how old I am. I grew up, and we had Cubans everywhere, that they were the elite who could get on an airplane and come over here.
From
They were
Batistas.
fantastic.
Yep.
They started businesses.
Yep.
They were the most American people in the world. Then Castro, with our dingbat president we had, Carter, Castro says, "We welcome you with open arms. We have the Free Talk Live. Everybody come on in." And Castro said, "Oh, hell yeah." He let all the dissidents out. He put all the people he emptied every insane asylum, every prison, and stuck them all in my high school. That's not what I want.
Your government high
school? I
school?
don't care where you're from.
Was it your government high school?
Yeah, look.
Oh my
you
God!
said that
You got
what?
substandard service from the governments? Come on!
No, I got a million Haitians and Cubans flooded in that were from the insane asylum. That's not who I want in my country.
You do
Who
think
I
that's,
want in my
you do
country
agree
is
that's
the
an
top
anomaly,
people in
right?
Cuba.
You do understand that's an anomaly, right? When Castro, a dictator, decides he's only going to release the insane asylums. Yeah, the Mario boat lift is a mess, no doubt. But it isn't how. But that does not describe Central American migration that has gone on over the course of 2 or 3 centuries.
Not just Central American migration, but migration from across the world. And the fact remains that not only in the past, but still today, immigrants to the United States, no matter how poor, are far more likely to be entrepreneurial than the people who are born in the United States, which is why I support what you're saying, Mark. If you're going to have some kind of trade deal, sign me on for that, because I'd rather have a bunch of poor migrant people who are coming here with the will to work, the drive to live, the drive to improve their station in life, as opposed to these welfare-sucking United States-born people who've been taken care of by the government. These are people who want to escape their government. Those are the kind of people that I would think we would want here. Rob, thanks for the discussion tonight. I do appreciate hearing from you. But again, if the private property is what we have, then you can keep whoever the hell you want out of your private property. By all means, put up your gates, have your armed guards, and have the perfect little society that you want. It's Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
Hello, this is Dr. Bill Deagle, MD of NutriMedical.com, announcing the breakthrough Red Deer Velvet DR. It delivers the protected building blocks of all organs and tissues, allowing your own stem cells as architects and engineers to regenerate you. Not since fetal life, when aging does not occur, has such an amazing NutriMed been available to help heal you and regenerate you. Anti-aging requires that you correct mineral, activated nutraceutical, and jump the gene defects and poor diet you have to deliver the cellular tools for regeneration. You must remove old damaged cells and replace them with your young healthy cells to wind the biological clock to a younger you. Order your Red Deer Velvet DR now at NutriMedical.com 24/7 or 888-212-8871. That's NutriMedical, N-U-T-R-I, Medical, MEDICAL.com. Or call our order line 888-212-8871.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Temporarily from the Libertarian National Convention in New Orleans, this is Darrell W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, June 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,253 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,401. Antiwar.com reports earlier this week the State Department revealed that they are ordering allies worldwide to stop buying oil from Iran. This is part of an effort to drive Iranian oil exports to zero and is centered on the U.S. withdrawing from the P5+1 nuclear deal. This is having a substantial impact on the regional and global economy. Saudi Arabia looks to be the most immediate beneficiary, with the country expecting record oil production in the next month to meet rising demand. The main purchasers of Iran's oil exports are India and China, and Indian refiners have suggested that they will be obeying the U.S. demands. China has not addressed the U.S. demands and probably won't accept them since they remain a party to the nuclear deal. Iran is trying to secure continued exports abroad, particularly pushing the EU to agree to buy oil as part of saving the nuclear deal from the U.S. Whether this is successful remains to be seen, but the U.S. seems determined to scare away Iran's customers, and oil prices have been rising on the expectation this will continue.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
UPI reports the names of the Capital Gazette journalists killed Thursday in Annapolis, Maryland, likely will be placed on the Newseum's Journalist Memorial Wall next year, according to the head of the Freedom Forum Institute. Gene Policinski, who is also the chief operating officer of the Newseum Institute, said, "I would think that the nature of this, the tragedy, the great number of it, will mean that their names will unfortunately be on this wall in 2019. Jared Ramos is accused of breaking into the Gazette's offices Thursday afternoon and shooting to death 4 journalists and 1 cell staff member before being arrested. He had threatened the newspaper in 2013 in the midst of a lawsuit he filed, saying reporters defamed him by reporting that he was convicted of harassing a former high school classmate online. The lawsuit was later dismissed. In the aftermath of the attack, law enforcement stepped up security at major newspaper organizations around the country. Adopting precautionary measures is important, but the best measures won't be enough until the ongoing rhetoric against the news media ends, according to Frank Smith, head of the Global Journalist Security, a firm that trains journalists in risk mitigation and safety measures. President Trump's criticisms of the media are feeding the anger at the root of verbal and physical attacks on journalists, according to Smith. He said Capital Gazette is the worst attack on journalists and press freedom in the history of the United States. Policinski said that Americans have less trust in journalists today, not just because of the frankly ridiculous political debate where journalists are enemies of the people, but because there are fewer local journalists covering news that matters to people's lives. Trump has called journalists enemies of the people and labeled stories as fake news regardless of their veracity. During his presidential campaign, he often urged crowds to turn on the reporters covering him, including offering to pay legal bills if anyone was arrested for assaulting a reporter. While journalists covering international conflicts often face risk, it's rare that those working in the United States are targeted. Over the past 26 years, the Committee to Protect Journalists recorded 7 other deaths in the country, a relatively small number compared to the 1,306 journalists killed around the world during the same period. The most striking thing is that the journalists at the Capital Gazette were sitting at a desk of the local newspaper, not in the midst of a war zone or even violent domestic riot. 2 days before the Annapolis shooting, Milo Yiannopoulos, former senior editor at Breitbart, told a reporter, "I can't wait for vigilante squads to start gunning down journalists on sight."
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The only nation where this regularly happens concludes that there's no way to prevent this. A college rape victim is pretty thrilled about recounting her assault to a faculty committee, and the nation's depressed individuals march on the Atlantic Ocean. This is the Onion Week in Review. Secretary of Veterans Affairs Eric Shinseki announced plans this week to improve healthcare for American veterans with a new $500 million state-of-the-art waiting room. The 150,000 square foot complex will reportedly feature a wide selection of magazines, 2 water coolers, and receptionists who will immediately give veterans vague answers about how long they can expect to sit there before receiving inadequate health care. And in this week's commentary, a local man finds owning a cat is a great way to meet women who magically appear in your living room. In other news, a new study finds employee morale drastically improves after watching a coworker throw a fit. A wise oracle proclaims to all at a barbecue that he felt a raindrop, and an elderly man is hailed as alert.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and we're launching into the third hour here. We still have plenty of time for you if you want to get on the radio with us. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And we've got the toll-free numbers, which are available to you. The number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got Skype. Skype username is lrn.fm. There's also our Discord on-air call-in line room, which you can join on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. So hop on in there in whichever way you prefer. And we prefer Skype and Discord just because it sounds better. But either way, whatever's good for you. We've been talking about immigration here. What sparked the whole conversation was an op-ed piece by Andrew Napolitano, the former judge. I don't know what judgeship it was that he held. I don't know if it was federal court or what. But he used to be a judge, and now he's a commentator, and he's a pretty libertarian dude from what we can tell. So will Trump be nominating him? Don't get your hopes up, especially now that he's actually come out and has spoken against the idea of turning people around at the border without giving them a trial. Is that right?
Well, yes, that's true. But Trump tends to be pretty good if you don't treat him rudely. Mm-hmm. And Napolitano does it in this article.
So we might get a chance to get
generally.
Yeah, we might get a chance to get back into that, but we got to get to more of your calls and thoughts here. Let's go to Alberto, calling from Massachusetts, listening in the Boston area. Go ahead, Alberto.
Hi. Hey. First of all, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to put in a different perspective because once that people are talking about illegal immigrants, which I am one of those, maybe 13 million.
Okay.
So the thing is, when they said that documented people, they live on welfare, they take in, all the American source. I work in 3 jobs. I'm here in the United States for 16 years. Me and my wife, we both, me and her work in 2 jobs, and I work, in an extra job, what I sell T-shirts. We just bought our house last year. So in order, and actually in Massachusetts, I don't know if you know that the real estate in Massachusetts is one of the most expensive square feet in the nation. In order to buy $700,000 house, any bank, no bank would lend you $700,000 a mortgage for 30 years if you don't pay tax.
Right.
So in order to buy, and even for Americans, Native Americans, they go to the bank and try to buy a property, they're going to look at their credit score, they're going to look at their income tax, if they are, paying their tax correctly. And the majority is denied. So when they say, undocumented people, they don't pay tax. Look, I work in 3 jobs. I bought my house. And in order to buy this house, I have to prove a substantially and constant tax pay. And it's very crazy because 12 states in this nation, they issue driver's license for undocumented people. You don't have to prove your immigration status that you have what's called drive permit.
Just to be clear, Alberto, I want to make sure I clarify something here. Did you say that you are an undocumented immigrant who successfully purchased a house in the United States?
Yes. Yes.
Is that amazing?
Look. I'm here in the United States, and I'm sorry for my broke English.
No,
because,
thank you for being here.
Your English is fine.
Some words won't gonna sound clearly like I'm trying, and because they said, "Oh, these people come to our country, they don't want to learn a language." Come on, they don't want to learn your language. If you guys is the who pay our salary, how we won't gonna learn English?
Right. You got to learn English to be able to work.
Right, to at least expand your opportunities.
Let me ask you this, Alberto. I want to ask you a question. So I've proposed a method that's going to keep most Americans happy when it comes to immigration. If somebody told you you can be legal, in the United States, you can legal to work, but you'll never be able to get any kind of government assistance, and you'll never be able to vote, would you immediately jump on that opportunity?
I will take it.
Yeah.
I will take it. I went on a state house because and I talked to the legislators and look, I file my tax. I pay my tax in what's called tax identification number. It's an IT number.
Yep, 10.
So this documentation is only to file tax. I don't want nothing. I asked it, look, you guys could, Massachusetts could have a way much revenue, way much more money if they give authorization to undocumented take the test for driving. Because in order to maintain your driver's license, you have to pay your tax. In Maryland, in order to get Maryland a driver's license, you have to file your tax in Maryland. So Maryland is taking, then state tax.
Yep. You're making the point that many immigrants, whether they're legal or not, they're paying tax because they have to, in order to just get around, to have a driver's license, to have a job, to do all those other things. Yeah. I can tell you this:
the thing.
if somebody called it,
doesn't have. Massachusetts, we don't have a driver's license in Massachusetts, and what's insane? I drive for 16 years. 16 years. My car have an insurance. I have to pay the insurance. The insurance companies make a lot of money. You know why? Because I have to pay the much expensive premium because I have no license. I have an international license. So they sell me a shitty.
I'm sorry. We can't let you say that on the radio.
I'm sorry. So they sell me a very, very, very low covered in a high premium. I'm sorry for my words.
No. Most people we drop on the first one, but I'm going to keep you because it's very rare. We've never had
question,
this.
That's why.
Not because of you, but we've never had, to my knowledge at least, somebody call into the show.
Brave enough to call in and say, I'm an illegal immigrant.
To say I'm an undocumented person. I prefer that, those
I prefer
terms.
That term too.
And so here's what I want to know, Alberto, if you don't mind. And if you can answer this without revealing anything revealing.
Right, please don't.
Yeah, and so presumably your name's not actually Alberto as well, but
no, my name is Alberto.
Okay,
Alberto Joliver.
We'll take your word for it. But what I want to know is, how do you get the identity that you use to pay all the taxes that you can then use to buy a house down the line?
That's the TIN number he talked about.
Yeah,
all right. I just told you. You can just go in any accountant and say, I need a tax identification number to pay my tax. So in order that's a federal number.
Yep.
That's a federal number. So in order you get all that, and you have to file your tax in the same year that you asked for this
for the
tax
number.
identification number. Yes. And that's the thing. When they say, oh, this undocumented people, they are for the MS-13. Look, and all my friends, we work on a landscaper. When you look at your people who are doing your landscaper, you're not seeing the white Caucasian guy. You're looking at brown people. They're from South Central America. I'm originally from Brazil. And by the way, when they say
right, Brazilians in MS-13, right?
Brazilians have nothing to do with it. And by the way, the same way, look, the same way we have MS-13 on Central America, we have the Hells Angels in the entire United States. So the problem is they got to find out people who are trying to get a better life for them and for their family, and get away and deport people who have a criminal record. I have no problem with, if they arrested people who drunk driving.
Alberto, can you
drugs.
stick with us? I want to keep you on. Do you have time to continue to answer some more questions?
Sure will.
All right, hang on. And I guess another question for you here. Do you have a way to call in? Like, could we get you on our Skype line? Is that possible? Do you have Skype or Discord?
I took too long to record the phone number. I just have this phone.
Right. Stand by. Are you willing to take questions from other callers? Think about
Absolutely,
that.
Amen.
Okay, he is. Hang on. More coming up here with Alberto. Free Talk Live.
From the 6th letter of Captain Mark. A pirate's life is characterized by voluntary interactions. Unfortunately, the Crown presses everyone into involuntary servitude. Landlubbers believe slavery was abolished years ago, but the Crown still claims to own us when it crimps us into service against our will. Given sufficient ambition, it would gladly draft thousands of hapless victims to kill or be killed. It's simply slavery by another name. Landlubbers are routinely commanded to serve the so-called justice system in jury duty. But before you swell with civic pride, consider that how you feel is irrelevant to the Crown. You will appear as ordered or face punitive measures. The Crown insists that you participate in your own oppression. A jury summons provides pirates with a unique opportunity to obstruct injustices. A juror can vote not guilty, even if it's proven the law was violated. A juror can acquit for any reason at all, and not even a judge can reverse that verdict. Receiving a jury summons is basically winning the sedition lottery. But if you reveal that you know this during jury selection, you'll probably be dismissed. If the Crown foolishly crimps a pirate into jury duty, it behooves the pirate to conceal their intention to nullify unjust laws. If a master takes 100% of your labor, it's called slavery. But if they only take 50%, they call it taxation. A difference of degree, not of kind. Whether the Crown claims a fortune or a cent is irrelevant. Most of all, a slave owner desires contented slaves, meaning thoughtless ones that accept their bondage. These house slaves see no contradiction in being drafted in a war to end slavery or summoned to a jury to prosecute tax evasion. An ideal slave knows no higher call than the master's will. The Crown's highest ambition is that its slaves revere the authority that subjugates them. But the Crown does not own me. I will not surrender my time and treasure to the Crown's ambitions. Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to may be even more nervous than you are. And the way things are now, your references have never been more important. Here are 3 tips. First, know that employers are checking. Every hire is under the microscope these days. Second, they won't just be checking references you provide. Figure that all of your ex-employers will get a call and be asked, would you hire him or her again? Third, assume you will be Googled. So before you apply, remove all those party animal photos from your Facebook page. Even if you're not in the job market, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want. Take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And this is a record night here on Free Talk Live because I don't think we've had some interesting calls over the years. We've had prostitutes call into the show, had all kinds of interesting questions for them. I don't think we've ever had somebody openly identify as an undocumented immigrant, basically, or an undocumented person, somebody who's a so-called illegal, as many of our callers would refer to them, on the phone with us here. Do you recall that ever happening in the history of this show?
I don't.
In the 16, 17, however many years we've been
Many years.
on the air, 15 years or something like that. So we're going to continue with Alberto. He hung on the line with us, and he also said he'd be willing to take your questions, so we can conference call you in with Alberto here, who's being very generous with his time. We appreciate that. So if you want to call with a question for Alberto, you can get on toll free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Our Skype is open at Skype username LRN.FM. Our Discord is also available. The Discord on-air call-in line room at discord.lrn.fm.
I love MyPillow, and I've got two reasons. One, it holds my head and neck in the right position. So, if you've got problems with neck pain or headaches or something like that, it can really solve that. It solved my neck pain problem to some extent. And, to some extent, it's just bone issues, and it can't solve that. But it holds it in the right position. I love that. Second issue is you can wash it, so you're not spending night after night sleeping in your own filth, which is ultimately what happens when you don't wash your bedding. And MyPillow, unlike, say, a down pillow or a latex
Every
pillow,
other pillow I've ever
other pillow I've ever owned, somebody out there's got some pillow you can wash, in which case, well, God bless you. I hope it holds your head and neck in the right position. But I find that MyPillow, for the cost, is going to provide you with the best solution. They will give you, right now, you go to MyPillow.com, you get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price, and with the coupon code I'm going to give you, you just use you'll get free shipping on all orders. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you've got nothing to lose. You go to MyPillow.com and use promo code FTL. That's FTL as in Free Talk Live. You've got 60 days to return it for a full refund if you don't like it. MyPillow.com, coupon code FTL.
All right, let's go back to Alberto. He's calling us from Massachusetts and has told us the difficulties, some of them, I'm sure it's a fraction of them, of what it's like to live in the United States for 16 years, having actually recently purchased a home as somebody who did not jump through the immigration hoops. You basically aren't here through the legal process, but yet you've managed to acquire tax identification numbers and legally have a tax-paying record. You've paid more for your driver's insurance because you have an international driver's license, because you can't apparently easily get a driver's license from the state of Massachusetts. So you pay a very high price to be here in this country. Can you just tell us a brief moment about, what's your history? Why did you leave Brazil? What was it that motivated you to come here and live this lifestyle?
All right. I got to the United States was in 2002. So I come from the southern border. What happened is before I come from Mexico. So I went for 3 times in the embassy, in the United States Embassy in Sao Paulo. But what happened is because I only have the high school, I'm 35 years old, I only have the high school. And they don't make it easy to what they call low skill educated people. They want doctors, they want engineers. But so I said, in Brazil, the history, the Brazil history, we have a 65 homicide a year. 65,000, I'm sorry, 65,000. If you want to Google, you can Google anytime.
Wow.
So doing the drugs cartel in Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro is one of the dangerous city in the world. You can Google.
Very dangerous. Okay.
So doing to this situation, I said, if I cannot get out there with the normal standard way, let me try. I pay $15,000 to cross the border. $15,000.
$15,000.
Imagine if the United States federal government just said, "Okay, we'll take the $15,000. We'll let you in. We'll give you some kind of green card or whatever." I mean, it would be such a better deal for them.
Let's put it this way. Right? Let's put it this way. If tomorrow the president say, "All right, I want to build the wall, but I want the undocumented people pay for the wall, and they will pay. I make a path to get out the shadow. You have to prove that you have at least 7 years of your income tax. I want to make it hard. Put it 10 years. I can prove it, my life. I can prove it. And by the way, in order to get the pass, I want $10,000 per head. I'm more than willing to pay. There another $15,000.
That you paid $15,000 to was it a coyote who got you across?
Yes.
Hold on, Alberto. I got Ella. She's on the line here, calling from WIBC, an great FM station in Indianapolis. Ella, you're on the line with Alberto. Go ahead with your question, please. Ella in Indianapolis. Do we still have Alberto? You still there, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Ella going once. Ella going twice. I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to put her back on hold. Mark, question for Alberto?
Yeah, so if I was sitting here and somebody called in and called me, say, a MS-13 member, they called me a gang member, and they said things to me like, I'm lazy, I don't work, I don't pay taxes, I don't do all these things that, I don't live that way. I would be really, really angry. What's that like for you as a talk radio listener, hearing this kind of talk that's going on all the time?
But that's the only reason why I come up to say, no, I am this guy that you guys are saying that's living on welfare, that having the ABT card, that's a gang member. I work in 3 jobs. I said that already. I work in 3 jobs, and if the president say, all right, Alberto, to get in the past, you have to prove that you are 10 years income tax, because in order to the bank lend me the money, lend me the mortgage, I have to bring all those paper, to the bank. Say, look, you can see how am I make this money to put it out.
It's just amazing. I'm so amazed and so grateful for you calling in to tell us about this and your experience. And you left Sao Paulo because of the violence down there. Why not just move elsewhere in Brazil? I mean, Brazil's a big country. Why go to the United States?
All right. It's because if you look at the entire Brazil, it's a lot of gang members. Yes, in Brazil, yeah, we have the drugs all over the place. My mom has to move to a very country city, so a small town, because to try raise my brothers, and even there the crack, which called crack, so it's spread all over. So people doing drugs, and there's way much more crime. What happens is they go on your farm. The police. They don't have a lot of police.
Alberto, do you want to stick with us? Do you want to stick with us for another segment? Do you have time? All right, more with Alberto here in moments. Your calls and thoughts. If you got a question for him, you can get on the line right now. He'll take your calls too. Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
Free Talk Live.
I'm sure I can speak for many of thousands. I don't fear illegals. I don't want them here and their filth that they bring with and the disease that they bring with.
All the people who work in the stores and the markets and the restaurants are overwhelmingly Hispanic, and they seem very clean and be doing a fine job here, and I've never heard anything about problems with disease.
For you to defend the illegal immigrants, and I'm not sure, as I said earlier, which host at what time is very condescending.
Madam, I will defend anybody that is peaceful and looking for a better life for themselves. We already pointed out.
I don't defend them. I wish that people like you.
You say that Mexicans are filthy and you call me condescending, lady? You say they're disease-ridden and filthy and I'm condescending?
And they are. And
You're outrageous. Get out of here. Thank you for the call.
She's had all her rope. She's hung herself.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up whatever's on your mind, although it's been immigration wall-to-wall throughout the night tonight. With you in the studio, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Don't forget, you can join us online. Head over to freetalklive.com. Got a lot of features there. During the show, if you're listening to us live, you'll be given sort of the live player page if you go to freetalklive.com during live show hours, which are 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time, 7 nights a week. And you can choose. Do you want to listen to the live audio stream, or do you want to watch us on Twitch, which you can do? That is the way to watch us in HD quality. The sound is great. The video looks good as well. And Twitch is an interesting platform. It's a video gaming platform primarily. That's probably like 99% or 98% of what they do there. But there's a talk shows category, so we set up an account earlier this year. We've now been on Twitch for, I think, more than 6 months. So thank you to everybody that has followed our Twitch channel. Over 300 people have followed us there. And I think we've only got about 20 subscribers right now, because what happens is there's this there's this Amazon Prime benefit called Twitch Prime. So if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, and a lot of our listeners are, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, it's one of the myriad of benefits that they give you that you probably never use, right? Like there's the Amazon Music, there's the Amazon Video, there's the Amazon, this and that. They throw all this stuff in, but the kitchen sink into this Amazon Prime deal. So one of those perks that they give you is the free Twitch subscription, one per month. But the catch is you have to reactivate it every single month. So if you're actually watching us on Twitch, you'll probably remember to do that because there's a little reminder thing that pops up on the screen. But if you are if you're an Amazon Prime user and you want to help us out on Twitch, then go to twitch.lrn.fm. That'll take you to our Twitch channel. Scroll down just below the video. You'll find some instructions there that are very simple on how you connect your Twitch account to your Amazon account, and then you can easily assign your Twitch Prime subscription to our channel, and that means a little bit of money from your Amazon Prime subscription goes over to LRN.FM.
Doesn't cost you anything more, though.
Yeah, just the time it takes for you to jump through the hoops, which once you jump through the connection hoop, you get your accounts connected, then it's easy to do.
It's easy. I did it in the amount of time that you were talking here.
Right. You re-upped, you mean, for
That's
this
right.
month? Yeah, so super easy. Go to twitch.lrn.fm, and don't forget to follow us there as well.
Everybody forgets, including me.
Indeed. Don't forget to follow us there. That way you can get notices when we go live, and then you can know that we're there, and if you get the Twitch app, you can watch us there too. So, twitch.lrn.fm. We go back to Alberto. He's on the line with us, listening in the Boston area, and he's called in tonight. We've now had him on for a couple of segments. I appreciate you sticking with us here, Alberto, because it's a very interesting conversation, one that doesn't happen very often, where you're explaining what it's like to live in the United States as somebody who is an undocumented person. You tried to come here through the legal process, but as it turned out, since you had only had a high school education, they basically rebuffed you, said, we're not interested in you. We don't want somebody who's going to come here, work 3 jobs for more than a decade, then ultimately become a homeowner and put down roots. And why wouldn't you want that person? Then ultimately you did do that. You came here without asking permission and somehow have managed to stay here for 16 years while filing taxes. Now, Mark, you had a question about these tax identifying numbers. He's been filing these taxes to where he could have a income that a bank could give him a home loan on. I mean, this has all happened for you, Alberto. But how do you keep filing these taxes with the federal government and stay off their radar? I don't even understand how that...
Yeah, why don't they just come pick you up when you file for one of these tax identification numbers?
Well, it's because when you get these numbers, let me explain to you how this works. When you file this tax, I cannot get unemployment. I have to work, my entire life. Right. I cannot retire. So this revenue that's getting, the federal government, last year I have to pay $19,000 because I used to be, when it was before Obama, I could use just a normal, I could make a phony Social Security number and could file that tax right there. But that comes what's called E-Verify. So the E-Verify got my number and refused. So my boss said, I got to pay you and you have to file your tax anyway on the end of the year. So I cannot get unemployment. I can't retire. I can get nothing. But I believe that one day they will open an opportunity for people who wants to live in the United States, people who are willing to contribute to the United States. So I'm doing my part as a citizen to someday when they say people who are working and wants to be part of America, the door is open. So I have everything to look right here. I have all my tax file. I have my life always straight up because I know one day it will open. One day it will.
What are these 3 jobs that you do? As somebody else asked in our Discord.
I would say be very generic about that.
Yeah, in a way that people can't come and pick you up.
Yeah, he mentioned landscaping, right? Was that one of them?
Yeah. Oh, look. Landscaper guys, you look at the landscape. People who are working under and Massachusetts today was 95 degrees.
Yep.
Who are you thinking that will be willing to be under the 95 degrees? Who do you think is working on roofers? Who do you think is picking fruits for you guys?
Yep.
What do you think that is done on a dishwasher? Now it's what 90. I can look right there in my thermostat. It's at least 90 degrees, and you work on a dishwasher with the hot water, the hot steam in your face. What do you think you're working at?
Well, you're talking to a talk show host who has both done roofing and worked a Hobart as a dishwasher.
Although
but I do get that it's hardworking people. There's no doubt about that. Is that many of the people that come across the border, very, very few of them are here just to leech off of tax dollars. Perhaps there are some, I don't know, but the ones that are coming across the border, the vast majority of them, they just want to have a job.
What are the other two?
Work.
I just want to have an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm doing my part of the game. Even I know now. Look, even drive. I talk to the politics. I say, look, in order to us maintain this drive permit. And by the way, we asking for an opportunity to get out there. And if we fail, done. And if they open an opportunity, all right. And in order to maintain, you have to pay your tax. You have to pay your Massachusetts tax. You have to pay your federal tax. And after that, if they catch people who are not willing to show up on a register of a motor vehicle and get the tax and get the test, it's because they have criminal records. That way, they can clean them up. People who are here and who wants to have a better life working against the criminal that they are saying, oh, it's in Mass 13, because if they open up a look. Why you don't have a driver's license? If I'm here undocumented. All right, go out there, pay your tax, and give your fingerprints. That way we can scan you and see that you have no criminal record.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, if the government were to allow, in this case, the state of Massachusetts, were to allow these people to come out of the shadows and apply for a driver's license as part of doing a criminal background check, that would help weed out the bad guys, the supposedly, scary MS-13 bad guys we're all supposed to be so worried about, from the good people who would come forward and would be willing to submit, fingerprints and background checks and all that. But Alberto, what were the other two industries that you work in? You mentioned landscaping. What were the other two?
In the restaurant business.
Restaurant. Okay, you're doing dishwashing.
Restaurant business, roofers,
Roofers.
Because look,
you work your butt off.
Yeah, I work 7 days a week. On a Sunday, when you guys have your meal with your children, I'm working because I have no other option. I know that I have to pay my tax, my home tax, my city tax just increased another $2,000. It's a $200 a month.
Yeah, it's hard enough.
That's fine.
It's hard enough to pay taxes as a regular, citizen, but as an illegal immigrant, to pay taxes has got to be very difficult, especially when you can't avail yourself of many of the services. Alberto, Alberto,
we do have a question on the line here for you. Delia's on the line, and we believe she's actually there this time. I think we got her name wrong before. Can you hang on for one more?
Absolutely.
You're a good sport. I appreciate it. Hang on. More with Alberto here in moments. Our toll-free number, if you've got a question for him, this is your chance to talk to somebody who is in the shadows right now. Alberto's with us. It's Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Aging is one thing that affects everyone. George has talked about the power of stem cells for years. Now, there's a new serum that harnesses that stem cell power to bring back your youthful look. Beverly Hills doctor Nathan Newman.
Stem cells are basically our fountain of youth. This is what maintains our body's reparative, regenerative abilities. As we age, every cell breaks down and has to be replaced, and what replaces it is the stem cell.
Dr. Newman and Janess have developed Luminess. Luminess takes the science of stem cells, using the same growth factor complex that literally heals our cells, slowing the appearance of the aging process. Apply Luminess twice daily, and on average, see results in a week. Learn more, watch our video, and order today at a special Coast website, healthylooking.com. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's healthylooking.com. Luminess, for a healthier, much younger, better-looking you. Buy now at healthylooking.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict, or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can join us here. If you want to get on the line, you better do it now. Especially if you have a question for our guest here. He's become a guest here. He's been on the whole hour. Alberto is with us. Somebody who is, he's technically undocumented in that he doesn't have immigration documents, but he's got all kinds of documents. Like he's got taxpayer identification number. He's been paying into the federal government's tax system for 16 years.
Paying taxes he'll never see a benefit from.
Right. The only benefit to him is that he has a tax history that he could then get a loan from a bank to purchase a home, which he's done. I mean, it's an amazing story and probably not an uncommon one either. He's a hardworking man. He's working 3 jobs at once, stuff like roofing, dishwashing, and landscaping. We're going to go back here to him. But Mark, did you have something to interject?
Oh, I've got one question from Discord, which I find amusing, so I want to ask that one real quick.
Okay,
Alberto's
back. Go ahead.
Why don't you just go ahead and be legal?
All right, it's simple. Because the only way that we have in 2018 to you get your immigrant status straight, it's if you married to get married to American citizen. There are no other way. I already talked to 4 different lawyers because they said, look, you have a tax record that can help you out a lot. So you're the right candidate, but there are no law open yet.
Right. You'd have to go back to Brazil, sign up for the immigration lottery, and hope that you didn't get killed or die of old age before you won.
And by the way, what am I going to do with my $700,000 property that I bought?
Right. What are you going to do with your house? Right.
Who's going to pay for that?
Yeah. In many cases, people who right, you'd never make that kind of money in Brazil. You'd never be able to pay. It's ridiculous.
Let's go to. I'm going to try to this conference call. Supposedly, maybe she wasn't there the last time. Hopefully, she's there this time. Delia, are you with us? Delia in Indianapolis. All right, so here's what I'm going to do.
If you're holding
I can
the phone
hear
line,
her as well.
Oh, he can hear her? Okay, so there's something going on where for our board ops edification here, we are not able to hear Delia. Apparently, Alberto is able to hear Delia.
Delia, ask your question really quickly to Alberto, and then Alberto will answer it. Go ahead.
Well, Alberto would need to restate the question.
Yeah, he's going to have to do that too.
So our audience could hear it, unless a switch could
very quickly
be
on the
flipped.
question, Delia.
As we're waiting for Delia to ask the question, we don't know if she can hear us, so we need to kill whatever dead air is actually happening right now. Alberto, is she asking you a question? This is really bad.
Yeah,
I don't know if we can do this. Good try,
All right,
Mark. Yes? Okay.
Go ahead and interrupt her, because nobody else can hear her.
We gotta get something on the air here. Alberto, is she still asking the question?
No, Charlie, stop. But the problem is, once you guys put her to talk, I got a commercial with.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you on hold, Alberto, and then we're going to try to just put her on the air normally, and then if he's on hold, he'll be able to hear the question. I'm so sorry about all this. Normally it works. I don't know what's happening. There's probably some switch that needs to get flipped on the board.
Needs to be switched.
Delia, can you hear us now?
I could hear you.
Okay,
all
what's your question?
Great. We have you now. We can hear you. Go ahead with your question for Alberto, if you don't mind.
So first, I was saying kudos to Alberto, because it's no small feat that he's accomplished, right? Being here illegally for undocumented for 16 years. Like Alberto, I know hundreds of people, right, that are extremely hard workers, are here for a better life. I appreciate that. I'm a Mexican immigrant myself. And he's correct. The proper way of doing it, the legal way of doing it, is a very rigid system. It does not allow for a lot of quick processing. Mm-hmm. I have a sister that had to stay behind in Mexico for 10 years because she was at the ripe age of 21. She was already married, had 3 small children, and my mother could not claim her to be able to get her papers. So she stayed behind for 10 years. That's how long that process took. I have other relatives that have taken 15 years plus to go through that process. So I certainly understand the battle of how rigid that system is. The system is definitely broken. My concern, though, is that, like Alberto, there are so many hardworking people here, but there are also people that I hesitate to use the word fraud, but that's what it is, right? You work with one name, submit taxes with your name, claim benefits with a different name, etc. So
he's not claiming any benefits. Go ahead with the question.
He can't claim unemployment benefits, but trust me that you don't have to be legal here to receive Medicaid, to receive food stamps, or whatever.
He's not doing those things. But go ahead with your question.
I understand. So my question was to him was how does he feel about that, right? Because I know that he has to see it in the Latino community. I know that he does.
Are you talking about how does he feel about fraud, or how does he feel about people collecting benefits?
About that taking place in the Latino undocumented community, and how does he think that should be addressed?
All right, stand by,
what's the best way
Delia. I'll put you on hold here to make sure you can get the answer from him. Alberto, did you hear that question?
I just didn't hear well. What's regarding about the Latino community? What's the question?
Yeah, it was basically like, how does the community...
Some people in the Latin community use things like Medicaid and these sorts of things. Obviously, they have to, illegal immigrants are going to have to use means that aren't entirely legal, in the sense that there's lots of paperwork that's flying around. So what do you think about people using benefits that they've paid for in some cases because of taxes and stuff, but doing the paperwork all shifty?
That's a very good question, because I believe that if you are United States, there are no need to you get any government subsidized. Okay? If you cannot walk with your own legs, then they stand back. Look, if you're not here to produce, to make America better, to contribute to us, you don't deserve to be here. That's all.
How much of the community that you know, I mean, I presume you know probably more than a handful of other people who are also undocumented. How many of them are taking any kind of welfare that you know of?
That I know, all my Brazilian community, I'm going to talk about people that I know, Brazilian community. Yep. They all then work in 2 jobs, work during the day and on the construction business, and on the nighttime work on the restaurant industry. So I'm guaranteed that they make at least $50,000 a year. They don't need. They are only because, look, the time, and by the way, even to go on the doctor, the time that I'm going to take off to go on the doctor, I don't use the doctor because I'm not making money. I need to make money to afford my family.
These are very proud people.
My wife, all right, she had a broken foot. Her foot got broken. My boss saw her working, okay? The entire time she couldn't even walk, and she goes to work to produce. Never got one sick day. Sick day. My boss, he hurt his arm.
Alberto, I'm going to put you on hold again. I got another call here, another question for you. Stand by. We're going to bring Dave on the line. He's in Washington State listening to KBKW in Aberdeen. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead quickly with your question for Alberto.
Yeah, well, I just heard him say his wife, so I want to know if he was married.
Yes.
We hired, when we was in business, we hired quite a few Spanish people, and they worked from daylight till dark.
Yeah.
And they worked harder than anybody I've ever known. But what I've seen lately is a lot of them, they send a lot of money to Mexico, and they got one of our welfare cards. And so I don't see anything wrong with them people coming here and working, anything wrong with that. But if they get on our system and write our system, we got people homeless on the streets that need help too, you know.
I'd say abolish the system. Thank you for the call, Dave. I appreciate hearing from you. We'll get Alberto on here for any final comments. Sounds to me like the community that at least you're affiliated with, the Brazilian community of immigrants, these are hardworking folks who are not, they're proud. They're making good money. They don't need any kind of welfare. They're not taking a handout. They're taking care of their families. They're taking care of their loved ones, some buying homes and making our lives, everybody's lives, and the economy better. I just want to say thank you, Alberto, for doing what it took to come here, paying $15,000 to a coyote. That alone would be another story worth talking to about on another night.
I regularly thank truck drivers and hardworking people in this show because I believe that it's hard workers that made America great. I know my parents were. I'm the grandchild of immigrants, and thank you so much for everything you do in all of your jobs, Alberto.
No, thank you guys, because you guys open a very big window. That way I could explain to all your audience that when the picture that they draw about undocumented, there are no 100% right. I am here and my community is here.
Thank you, Alberto. And I want to invite you anytime. Please call in, share your experiences, share your stories with us, because you're the first undocumented immigrant we've had call the show, and it's fantastic. I appreciate it. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement, and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Temporarily from the Libertarian National Convention in New Orleans, this is Darrell W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, June 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,253 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,401. Antiwar.com reports earlier this week the State Department revealed that they are ordering allies worldwide to stop buying oil from Iran. This is part of an effort to drive Iranian oil exports to zero and is centered on the U.S. withdrawing from the P5+1 nuclear deal. This is having a substantial impact on the regional and global economy. Saudi Arabia looks to be the most immediate beneficiary, with the country expecting record oil production in the next month to meet rising demand. The main purchasers of Iran's oil exports are India and China, and Indian refiners have suggested that they will be obeying the U.S. demands. China has not addressed the U.S. demands and probably won't accept them since they remain a party to the nuclear deal. Iran is trying to secure continued exports abroad, particularly pushing the EU to agree to buy oil as part of saving the nuclear deal from the U.S. Whether this is successful remains to be seen, but the U.S. seems determined to scare away Iran's